clash. Mid-season madness, Summer Showdown, Countdown Cup, and now the 2022 Overwatch League playoffs. All the obstacles designed to churn out the very best of the best here in the Overwatch world. And Matthew, we finally have them. What a pleasure it is to be here to preside over our 5th Overwatch League Grand Final. The Shock and the Field go at it once more.
And we've been in this scenario before, you and I, with the Shock in the finals, just different opponents throughout the years. It's a much different looking Shock roster though, right? You know, you have Striker, you have Violet, everybody else kind of new players coming on in. I mean, right, like what, before the season, you know, they lose Super, right? Super decides to retire, they got to replace him with Kalush, trying to figure it out. How good would this team be? They are as good as they normally are. And then on the other side with the Dallas Fuel, this has been a team that, like, their greatness has been promised for so long, and they've just never been able to get there. Last year, so close. You thought maybe it was their year. They get 3rd. Now they find themselves in a grand final so close.
First, they were hyped. Then they were mocked. Now they are revealed. A collection of mystical elements brought together to form what we now know as the Dallas Fuel, a gambit made to run all the way to the top of the Overwatch League. Over the last couple of years, that hasn't been the story for the Dallas Fuel. Yeah. It's something new and something special for them to be here competing now for the top honor in the Overwatch world.
And I think there's a lot of pressure on the Dallas Fuel, right? You see the way the Shock play earlier, and specifically Proper, I mean, you know, making Dante's life really difficult on the Winston. Like, Fearless is going to have to show up big time here today. And then I think Edison as well. You know, the post-game interview from the other day, he was like, you know, as long as I'm not nervous, I'm in a good spot. And, you know, there's a lot of people in the venue today, and you see how Proper's playing earlier, I'd be pretty nervous.
Those nerves, something these teams are going to leave behind backstage as they walk out before that happens. We're going to head over to our venerable Master of Ceremonies. That's right, we're headed down to Golden Boy on the stage.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. It is now time for the grand finals of the 2022 Overwatch League season. So let's not waste any more time, shall we? And let's introduce your first team, looking to become the 3-time world champions and shock the world. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the San Francisco Shock! Playing in the damage position, it's Striker! Also in the damage position, the MVP of the season, the one and only Proper! In the tank position, looking to keep the squad alive, it's Mikey! A good tank ain't that good without a good support. Welcome to the stage in the support position, it's Finn! And also joining him in the support position, put your hands together for Violet! Ladies and gentlemen, one more time for the San Francisco Shock! And now it's time to light this stage on fire. Burn blue for the Dallas Fuel! In the damage position, the mad scientist, it's Edison! Also in the damage position, put your hands together for Sparkle! In the tank position, it's the one, the only, Fearless! In the support position, welcome to the stage, Fearless! certainly not least in the support position, welcome to the stage with a big round of applause, it's Chio! Put your hands together for the Dallas Fuel! And now it's time to jump right back into the action and send it over to Uber and Mr. X.
What a moment for these two teams to have a chance to eye each other off before they take their places on the stage. They're known to each other. This rivalry renewed many, many times over the years, especially this one. And of course, in that Summer Showdown finals, it was the Dallas Fuel laying waste to the Shock. They're looking like a different team, Matt, a different mentality, a different vibe.
I think it's really important, though, that they get off to a good start. Now, the Shock, they've had a series already today, right? They've gotten to play in front of the crowd. You know, there's not really no jitters anymore, right? Maybe a little bit because now you're in the finals. But the Dallas Fuel is, you come in, you watch that first game, the first time walking out, the crowd's going crazy. Like, how do you kind of settle down here in map number 1?
Less of an opportunity for the Fuel to have warmed up today, and someone I think we need to talk about, Dove the man scientist, and it's appropriate. Edison silenced all of his doubters yesterday. When we questioned him in that first map against the Outlaws, we said he needs to step up big time in this series, and he delivered. He said afterwards, as long as I'm not nervous, I'm ready to dominate. That's a strong statement to make. You have to wonder where his head's at right now, because he has the biggest challenge of his career sitting across from him.
And for me, looking at this series, Fearless has to be that guy for the Dallas Fuel, right? We've seen the Shock, when you have space for Proper, he just takes over these games. And Fearless has to be that Winston player we know of in the past, right? Where he is able to cause so much chaos for the opponent. Johnny mentioned on the desk, Primal Rage, one of the best ultimates. Get in front of that Sojourn, Kariko ult drops down, knock players out of position. Fearless has to be as good as he's been historically in this series right now, because Edison's going to have lanes to shoot, right? You look on the other side with Mikey and Kalush, very good players, but nobody who you kind of say is like a Winston main, so to speak, where Edison's probably going to have a little bit of room. Proper, if they give him that space, this could be a very long series.
A 1st-to-4 series here in our grand finals, and it all begins on some hallowed ground. Lijiang Tower will be our first battlefield, and crucially our first stage will be Control Center.
And you look across the stage, right? Striker's been here before, Violet's been here before. It's kind of new territory for everybody, especially I know with the Dallas Fuel, right? They've been grinding as an organization to get to this point, the ultimate goal. So close. These players have been playing Overwatch for so long, right? Since like the start of Overwatch 1, right? They've been grinding their way to the Overwatch League for a moment like this.
Here we are. Bated breath as the teams prepare to come out of spawn. Our 2022 Grand Finals starts now. The Dallas Fuel and the San Francisco Shock.
So it looks like both teams gonna vie for position over the point here. As Proper takes a shot early on. Just kind of like jockeying for position here, right? Fearless kind of just seeing where everybody's running. They're actually gonna rotate around, try and take some of this position on the high ground.
Yeah, Dallas peeled back for Edison very quickly there. They're very concerned about Mikey closing on him. Fearless is dropping in the backside here, and no one's paying Proper that much attention early on. The Shock trying to aggressively position themselves towards the spawn, but Chio, of all people, to find first blood at second for the Fuel. I shouldn't be surprised, but here we are. Edison is still on the field now. He's able to slide away from Mikey. He's going lower and lower. Chio fancies a bit of argy-bargy, and Edison brings the monkey down. No one capping yet, but the Dallas Fuel have the numbers. It'll be a TP into the back line, or onto the point here, rather, from Striker. That's a risky play, and it's punished.
Yeah, that is a really dangerous play there from Striker. That's a really good sign for the Dallas Fuel early on, right? Violet not as aggressive as like an offensive player as Chio, where Chio sometimes gets caught out by the Sojourns, wall riding and whatnot. But it also gives them another weapon to throw at Proper, right? Fearless on one side, Chio on the high ground on another. Difficult to keep him up.
Probably not expecting maybe the Fuel to play so close here. He has to back away, disrupt the shot. He's deployed. Edison finding a headshot there, and Violet's very low. He's trying to build towards that sound barrier now. A little bit of pressure going Edison's way. He's going to take to the high ground. Sound barrier, but it's too late. San Francisco are down to 4 now. The durability about to expire, and Fearless is starting to cause problems. Edison sends one Violet's way. A free haircut. Inverse Mohawk, though. You don't get to choose.
And the sound barriers had been really good from Violet throughout the series. That one just not able to keep proper alive. Then you have it. The other team has a huge advantage here. And Dallas, you're going to have both support ults coming into this fight, and they're going to go above 50% on the point.
Kitsune rush up here. Violet not having that sound barrier. It feels like a goal. Oh, man.
Okay, not great, Mitch.
Not great indeed. Dallas really setting the pace right now. San Francisco trying to set up, constantly getting caught off guard. Finn no longer has that Kitsune rush. They're losing so many key ultimates to Shock.
And you've been able to hold on to this sound barrier, right? You can get aggressive behind this sound barrier. You can kind of like disengage maybe when Proper uses Overclock or Primal.
He's able to get away, but for how long? Fearless chases him down. Relentless pursuit of the Kiriko. Mikey's seen better days as well. San Francisco, if they're here to play, they're going to have to take it up a notch. They've got one last chance in this round to make something happen, and Violet has to heal himself here, able to pick up the Mega back to the point. He'll need a secure overtime, but he's been spotted already. Another health pack there on his way, but Finn's already very low. Oh, Striker! He's cut short, tries to go for the Death Blossom, and Edison's able to find him. Fearless is down though, and now we have a 4v4, and Proper finally gets into the game. His first final blow on the map so far, but will it be enough? Violet and Chio both down, the team's both like mobility, and here comes Sparkle. The Shock are able to get away though. No purchase with a Reaper ultimate, but Edison turns up yet again. Proper searching, probing, hunting, and Edison is down. Now he'll play from the periphery. He needs another kill here. He's going to get pressured by Fearless, and there it is. Fearless brings him down. 3 versus 4 right now. The Fuel have the numbers, but don't have the ability to push over the line until Fielder turns up. Good connection there. Mikey back in the fight, but Finn is very, very low, and the Shock are running on fumes. That's going to be it for the first round. Dallas look a cut above early.
We finish round 1. I know, huge kill disparity here at the start. I think you just see how good Fearless and Chio are combining. As time we walked from Proper's POV in the first person, you see a Winston bubble dropping right in front of him. You know, the Lucio shooting to his side. He's already used his dash, can't get out of the way. Makes it really difficult for the Shock to get anything going.
0 final blows for Striker in that first round. 6-2 is Fearless leading the lobby right now. We talked about that tank matchup. Fearless is the linchpin for Dallas.
And it's wild because Hanbin's played a large part of the season for the Dallas Fuel, but that you keep Fearless on the roster for moments like this.
Fearless going in early. Edison using a safe lane for the time being. Both teams trying to find close quarters here, which could be scary. Disrupt the shots both already being used, and the Fuel are trying to track the Shock as they move across the map here. Mikey trying to punch the backline, and Fielder could be in trouble. Great pick off by San Francisco. Dallas will start on the point, but they're down a player here.
Yeah, and they're down there, Kiriko. So much healing.
Edison.
They give up the point. They end up rotating out. Maybe if Edison finds what there, they actually go back in. They give up the point. Mikey goes in over the top. Already the Winston bubble being used.
Fearless not engaging with that dive. In fact, just using it fairly neutrally there. Maybe just to knock Mikey away if possible. Good angle for Proper here. San Francisco off to a decent start. Here's the disrupt the shot thrown into the main atrium, but the Shock are going to sidestep it now and try and approach the point. Disrupt the shot again. Proper trying to give himself a little bit of room to breathe here, but that is slowly expiring. Fearless low. There it is!
And that's, if you're the Shock, those are the types of openings you need there. Is you're going to get above 30% here on the point. Chio and the rest of the crew just trying to get out.
Living dangerously and presents himself for Proper to devour. 40% and counting. San Francisco off to a great start here.
And one thing that Shock I don't think can like really match, right, is how aggressive Fielder and Chio can be offensively. But you can also take advantage of that, right? In a series of WeCast earlier in the tournament in the Dallas Fuel, they look great. But Chio is getting picked off, a few times at the beginning of these fights.
They're going for it. San Francisco want to start a fight early.
So low.
Good idea. Protection Suzu used. Striker's going to be able to get out there. Nice disengage from Dallas. Very nimble. Going to put the note closer to capping.
And that Sojourn could just one-shot that TP out. You need that Winston bubble on top.
Here they come. Kitsune Rush being thrown down by Fielder. Dallas need to find a way to break back into the round. Proper finds himself face to face with Fields, but he's got back out. Mikey's Primal Rage gets in there. Proper needs to respect Sparkle now with the Rain Walk. He tries to approach Chio, gets his 5th final blow of the round. But the Shock have the numbers.
Violet, not the flashiest on the Lucio, but right there, you saw the boot, Striker in position, all to help Proper keep him up. Mikey handles Edison on the other side of the map. The Shock getting close to tying up map number 1.
96 now. Fearless will be the one to step up first.
Primal Rage and beat.
Plenty to work with here for the Fuel Edison. Oh, he finds Proper's head, but Finn responds. The trade is there. Finn can return to his team. Fearless also will have to do the same now. Straight to the back of the point. That's where much of the fighting is occurring here. Striker needs to be careful. Health pack won't be up for a while, and Fearless just gives him a tickle. Over the edge go the Shock. They're going to have to give it up.
And you're okay with giving it up, right? I know you end up losing your overclock there. Didn't have anything else to deal with, but you ended up having Edison use overclock, Primal Rage being used there, and Sound Barrier. So you get some big key ultimates. You're already at 99. You just need one fight to go your way.
Not a lot of ultimates though for either team here. Many expended in that previous fight. San Francisco looking to play a slightly longer game here. Even longer now with Violet coming up spawn. Mikey wants to come forward here, but he is caught. Sparkle accosts him and Finn absolutely drilled.
And that's not a good fight there for the Shock, because what they wanted to do there, Mitch, they just want to play that side room and just build up these support ultimates, right? You could have farmed the Kuriko ult, you could have farmed the Sound Barrier, and then you could have engaged. But because Violet gets picked off early and it just all goes in the Fuel's way, they're going to have that Kitsune Rush.
Mikey, how does he find himself here? Drops in, right in front of Sparkle. He's able to jump back to the rest of his Are you serious? The Dallas Fuel allowed the Shock to retake the points. They're unaware of the fact that overtime was there. That is a bundle and a half.
And in moments like this, right, you got the crowd reaction. I'm sure their reaction on stage. You got to kind of settle down now going into this final round, right? You don't expect to lose that round in that type of fashion. They end up flipping the point back, ends immediately. That's a tough one.
One they surely wish they would have back. Mikey just presents himself, right? You know, looks out of position. Yeah. Dallas all turn their heads towards him. He jumps back to the point, and all of a sudden, round's over. Dallas tunnel visioning on the Winston.
I know, when you were like, what is Mikey trying to do here? I was like, well, from my point of view, it looks like he's trying to die pretty quick, because he's getting blown up by
the greatest decoy.
Yeah, but just going to sneak the point out the back.
Yeah, Edison operating in this pocket. He's going to be dueling with Proper, who wants to abscond for a time.
Oh, dude. Violet had maybe one shot there. He's so low.
Dallas giving a little bit of ground here. Maybe trying to get Sparkle now into the fight. Edison is out of it, that's for sure. And Proper's not done here. Think back. Think what he did to those Outlaws. Give this guy an inch and he'll take a country mile. Chio, well, it was only ever going to go one way.
Think what he did to the Outlaws. Think what he's been doing to the entire league all season long. The Shock will take the point first. And you know, sometimes like players come into the league and there's lots of hype, and there was a lot of hype for Proper, and you're like, all right, yeah, let's see what happens. He's like surpassed that and then some. So you know, we've kind of joked around like Proper is inevitable, and he is making this run back happen for the Shock through this loser bracket. It's insane. Ooh, Mikey, oh, that's a really fast play there. Shield gets that speed boost, gets Sparkle right in the mix, and Mikey not able to get out.
San Francisco not ready for that kind of pace here. How are they going to respond? Oh, Proper! What's happened there? Kitsune Rush deployed regardless, but what are the options here for the Shock? It's a hard reset.
And that is a huge turn of events there for the Dallas Fuel. They speed boost in, they get that first kill. Let's see. Oh!
Not good.
Stealing my lines.
Mikey Low again getting picked off in the middle. Oh my word, Edison! That one came out of absolutely nowhere. He's dialed in, Matt.
I mean, look, you have to really, as Mike, you have to be careful jumping into these positions, right? Time and time again, we've seen now throughout this series, at least in the early parts, you know, taking big chunks of damage on in.
Gio's having to boot Mikey away as he comes down, so it's not going to land in the ideal location, but there's going to be a sound barrier here for the Shock to work with. Oh, the Death Blossom! Sparkle being able to find proper there. It's going to be a trade of Sojourns, in fact, but there's Finn right in front of him. He TP's back onto safe land. And the Shock booted out again.
3 fights in a row in favor for the Dallas Fuel. Overclocks available for both sides here. And maybe you're able to actually like kind of speed boost Striker onto the point here, take that opposite position. You have that Death Blossom to work with.
Striker posturing here, Sparkle a little bit low, having to get away. Overclock for proper. Can he just park someone? Oh, Therese, yes! 2 huge kills and enough to put the Shock ahead of this fight, but it's not over. Striker now needs to try and get his damage done, but he's stayed away by the Winston bubble. It looks like, yes, the Fuel are out. Striker a contingency there with the Death Blossom.
Zoning all.
Secures the fight win. They did see that and back away.
Like a big spinning disruptor shot there. I see in the Reaper dance there on the point, blocking him off. It's 81% though for the Dallas Fuel. In a position where you're going to need like 2 fights, I think, to flip this and win.
Kitsuna Rush thrown down. Edison quickly getting away. He knows the rest of his team are also...
He does have a great angle, Mitch.
Not now that the fight has been taken where... Oh! What is that? That is unhealthy.
How did he hit that? Where?
Long range across the map, full charge. Just the way you like it. Violet has a sound barrier here. Gonna have to... Oh, okay. Not gonna be able to get it in time. The Shock looks like they might be grouping up for another fight come back. Dallas does flip the point. This one might be a photo finish, Matthew.
And I was wondering, if you're Violet, do you consider using the beat, keeping that one going? Maybe you're able to get it up to 90%, but they decide to save the sound barrier. They back out. Last fight territory.
Kitsune Rush versus sound barrier, at least in the beginning. Here it comes. Fielder lays it down. Sound barrier there for Violet, but Mikey, but Proper. There's bubbles in the way. Still Proper's going to come forward. It's only going to be the one. Here come the Dallas Fuel. They're mad, and you better believe they're hungry.
Fantastic start for the Dallas Fuel. 3 maps away. And right there, you know, Mikey didn't get that sound barrier, neither did Proper, and that's a huge difference in that final fight.
Proper playing as if he did, right? No choice but to slide forward. That's the kind of pressure you face going up against the Dallas Fuel. Fearless forcing Violet away, bubble down, breaking that line of sight up. A very forgettable sound barrier is what is the Shock's undoing in that first round. Showing us a lot of spunk though. Dallas Fuel giving a bit of a round over to San Francisco to make it a very competitive first map. What a way to start our 2022 Grand Finals, folks. Stick around. There's more to come.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Butterfinger. Crispity, crunchity, peanut buttery. No one lays a finger on your Butterfinger.
killed! Holy Lord, in the blink of an eye!
Oh, the sleeper Mondraku. What is this man on right now?
Oh, Zero puts vision in the dark, returns to sender! They can't get away, the damage is inevitable!
But the rampage from Benbest, this man looked revitalized. FD God from the top of the pillar.
And Seiko with that blade does get hit by the coach guard. He's able to eclipse the distance. He's getting free. They'll be able to tap. Don't have a
What a sleep dart!
There it is, just signaling the go button.
No.
Oh my god. You're just not getting a solid selection there. Oh, and they find it.
Come on!
That's it, the run it back tournament, definitely not one you want to be missing. Contenders has never been more competitive, Matt. Speaking of competition, how about this one for you?
And, you know, we've been kind of like, every matchup, I feel like, you know, oh, is Edison going to be able to live up to merit? Is, you know, if they play against Shy, how is it going to go against Proper? He's come up clutch. You know, you're worried maybe into this series, like, are the nerves going to get to him and whatnot? I also think it helps that, like, Fearless is just able to cause so many problems for the opponents. It makes Edison's life a little bit easier, but he has been playing fantastic.
Both Winston players trying to create the space for these two to do their best work. I don't think we need to ask the question anymore whether Edison is ready, willing, or able to step up to Proper. Wouldn't he love to serve him up an L? What a day like today. Look, pretty competitive first map. I think that second round, you know, Dallas, you thought they were in a position to sort of run it back pretty comfortably. They're a night market, but they kind of give over the point there. A little bit of an error from them. They finish pretty cleanly.
Long series, though. Marathon type series, right? So it'll be the Shock's map pick for map number 2. They will select King's Row. We'll also see Mikey stay in the game. So this is something that, you know, we've seen over the last series. Then now, typically Mikey would play Control, Kalush would come in and kind of play a lot of other different things. I know, potentially even maps on, you know, you think of like Escort, like a Circuit, you come in and play the Sigma. But they leave Mikey in to play that Winston here on King's Row.
Mikey definitely, you know, Winston being one of his sort of core heroes alongside the Wrecking Ball, so seems like the Dallas are already hoping to put him in position here to challenge Fearless, or at least match his impact. They're not 1v1ing very often. But again, if you can shut down Edison, you are well and truly on your way. Kings Row, Matthew, a map that with these Winston compositions can be pretty volatile at times. We've seen a lot of teams make very strong attacking pushes, but sometimes the defense can be hard to put together against this kind of rush style.
Yeah, and you see when you have a player like Fearless, right, or Gushue, like how we caught, Route 66, Gushue with a bubble, blocks the sound barrier. Right there towards the end, Fearless, perfect bubble on the Winston, right in the doorway, blocks some of the players from getting that sound barrier. You know, having that Winston expert, so important, as it'll be the Dallas Fuel on defense first.
Curious to see how involved Chio is going to be able to find himself. He was everywhere at once on Lijiang Tower. Very aggressive brand of Lucio. Very high final blows, generally. They're back in week 7 of the regular season. I remember that loss as well. Fuel still establishing themselves. Shock with very high expectations on their shoulders, despite being a team mostly forged anew this year, but so much faith in the franchise and the culture they've set. And it's paid off.
3, 2,
It's an unbelievable regular season for the Shock, right? No tournament wins throughout the year, which is a little bit different than in years past, but you'll trade some of those other tournaments for a win here.
All of them an important step in this team developing themselves for the live environment. Dallas here playing pretty passive, pretty out of line of sight for the time being. Looks like the Alworth Hotel is the choice of battleground now for the Shock. Trying to force Dallas away, hoping to bait them in by the looks of things here. Oh, Fielder! Okay then. That's a kunai lobotomy for your boy Proper.
Well, it's some damage that comes down from Chio. I was mentioning in map number 1, a little bit more offensive, aggressive than Violet. He's actually up on the wall. He actually lands some shots, and then Fielder puts him away with a headshot.
This allows Dallas now to establish their front line a little further forward, at least for now. Hope to generate another pick here and set the Shock further back, but San Francisco are disciplined. Proper approaches the point with plenty of charge to work with here. Just a lack of targets for the time being. Dallas playing extremely cagey around this railgun. Fearless has the touch though, and here come the fuel out behind that bubble. Disruptor shot thrown down, so no one can close the gap easily. A lot of poke damage, a lot of chip damage coming across the map. It's a railgun miss for Edison, and Sparkle, he's in Striker's eyes. The light and Chios just went out.
Yeah, it's the Dallas Fuel, they get a little bit split there. So the Disruptor shot from Proper goes into the choke. You see him walking through here, and it splits off the supports and Edison, and they're not able to actually get through the choke. Fearless actually has to touch a point with Sparkle. They both take loads of damage, not enough opportunity to heal that all back up. And the Shock take the point.
Clean open there, you see Dallas still a little bit unsure about how to have a consistent defensive hold with this setup. No K-Fin. Gio there, forced to respect that. A little bit of a Teru-esque foray.
Yeah, some of the Kurikos, instead of using the TP, you know, as kind of safety if they get dove, using him way more offensively to get out of harm's way.
Edison having to swing out from this corner. Glancing blow connects on Proper. He's close to his overclock as well. Kitsune Rush coming in. Here we go. Striker, pretty conservative at the start of the fight, not getting too close to the backline here. Mikey's primal rage, he's getting burnt to a crisp. Very dangerous place to be if the Winston and the Shock just teeter too close to the edge.
Dallas does end up using their sound barrier to come out and win that as well, though. So for the Shock, you do have a little bit of an advantage, right? I think there's an opportunity for them to use overclock, use that sound barrier, push them back. There's really not a lot of ways the Dallas Fuel can keep everybody protected.
Back to the drawing board here for the Shock. Sparkle's in hiding. He's, well, in a position to do some damage here, but there's a sound barrier in time. This one for Viola, one he was looking for. Chio gets cut down. Flying a little too close to the sun. Here it is, Edison Proper continuing the trade out here, San Francisco. On the opposite side of the map for the Dallas Fuel here is that this engagement was able to put them on opposite sides. Big connect with Sparkle there, and this is looking much better for San Francisco. They're able to wrap around on Dallas there, and losing Chio early means Dallas had nowhere to go.
Yeah, and Dallas does a good job actually extending that fight, making it a little bit more difficult than one would think. The go sign, though, for the Shock there is as soon as the Dallas Fuel end up using that protection Suzu of Kuriko, you know, giving everybody that brief moment of, invulnerability, as soon as that wears off, that's when the Shock know that they can attack pretty safely.
Scartwell is really on the move now. 2 minutes 50 still left in the round for the Shock. Didn't spend too much time snarled up in that choke. It's a good sign. Sparkle and Fearless again, just trying to hold the Shock at bay. And allow Edison.
They're playing for the Kitsune Rush. They actually just farm it up now. Finn has his...
Oh!
May it not matter now.
What an opener there from Edison. And the Shock headed upstairs. They'll be regrouping, licking their wounds for a bit.
And we talk about how important Sojourn is in the meta, and I think obviously everybody can see why. Especially in moments like this, being able to get those early pickoffs, it just eats at the clock the Shock have to attack.
San Francisco, no choice but to regroup. Can't do too much about a fully charged railgun headshot. Big things happen. Okay, Mikey redirected there up to the high ground. Kitsune Rush now coming out from thin field, reciprocating. Edison playing off to the side for the time being, but Striker steps up, forces him away. The other sidelines aren't great for Edison, but Field is able to fire one on Proper. Striker with the sound barrier, looking pretty comfortable coming forward, but a lack of play here in the San Francisco Shock. Most of the damage now needs to come from Striker's direction. Biking, dispersing these Dallas Fuel players, pressuring Edison up to the high ground, but Sparkle strikes into the back line. Stamping up. Okay, Striker he goes for it. Fielder. Sparkle has the range walk, though he's able to avoid that for the time being. And Edison has the overclock. That seals the deal.
Yeah, and I think when you actually have the Death Blossom come out from Striker, I mean, I was a little bit shocked. I thought potentially saves that, but he ends up using it. That's when Edison decides to pop the overclock. Yeah, and here it is. Get some damage down. Oh.
That is exquisite. And look, a tough for Striker there as well. He's not really where he wants to be. He's not within the Sojourn's vicinity. He's not within the Kiriko's vicinity. He just has to go for it there.
This is going to be so tough for the Shock, man. No support ultimates, just the overclock available. Shield's got sound barrier.
Sound barrier for Proper. No, those insecures are hard to come by with that overshield on your opponents. The Shock now down to sub 40 seconds left. And they're on the wrong side of the map. This could get a little bit awkward. Can Striker break his way through? Is there enough time for Proper to get back? Neither of those look to be likely here. Edison can wrap.
I think you need to die fast here if you're the Shock, yeah. I mean, you need to die fast, you need to reset.
This could be dangerous. Dangerous!
And we see Proper right there, like sliding on in. You can't do that against a team like the Dallas Fuel. They are too good and too fast at capitalizing on mistakes like that.
5 seconds left to the round. Even a touch is going to be pretty brutal to get. Violet speeding his way forward, but Edison shuts it down! And the Shocker denied overtime! That's dirty!
Oh. Sparkle has so much fun on the stage, man. It's a Violet's opportunity to touch there. Comes bouncing off the wall on the Lucio. Gets his head ripped off there by Edison.
Again, with only 5 seconds left in the round, their one chance was the Lucio touch. And it just so happened that Edison had a railgun with Violet's name on it. Not an auspicious showing here from San Francisco's attack on Kings Row. I'd be nervous if I was them now on defense.
It's scary because defense on Kings Row, like, it's not a great Winston defense map here, at least on point A. I think when you get towards the second half of the map, it's way better, as here we see it from Violet's POV.
Mind his own business. Oh. It seems I misplaced my head somewhere along the line.
Lucio's body like flips like 30 feet.
All right. So I think it's pretty clear here, San Francisco definitely need to eat through some of the clock on this first point hold. Not that we're expecting a full hold here. It's tough with a Winston defense, but that's their first step.
Very difficult to hold full hold on Winston defense here. Just, you know, his kit, like the dive nature of it, just doesn't really suit Kings Row point A. I think you can do obviously way more things once you get past there, but this is very difficult to full hold this composition. Because look, I mean, doesn't have like a shield like a Sigma or Reinhardt, right? Has to kind of play here in the open.
Okay, Fearless has already gone upstairs, and he can just hit the backline like this. In the meantime, the Shocker trying to reciprocate, put pressure down on Dallas's backline, but Fearless somehow appears in the midst of the Shockers. They try and come forward. They lose out on the damage trades, but they're able to be topped up just in time by Finn. They're trying to keep this position around the statue, and Proper's going to help them out in a big way there. Great shot on Sparkle.
And those are the types of fights the Shock want to do. I think against a lot of other teams, right? You know, Proper can use that dash, get in, maybe get a pick. I think it's just too risky against this team. I think you got to have him play a little bit more patient. Wait for Fearless to kind of come to you. And then we saw on Lijiang, right? Beautiful help from Violet, Striker as well. And then it makes his life a bit easier.
Minus guy time, he will return the investment. A trade here, Sparkle's down, but Proper crucially is missing. Striker and Mikey now need to be the bulwark to stop the flood of the fuel. So far not so bad here. Mikey taking a moderate amount of damage, but Finn's able to top him up. They're close to Kitsune Rush, but Fielder's going to have his first. If you'll wait on it for now, but now they approach the point. Fearless first. Edison not far behind. Bundled into the hotel now. The Shock, they need to make their explosion. Fourth here. The Winston bubble in the way. A little bit frustrating, and Mikey goes down to disrupt the shot. Edison doesn't need this. Overclock the sound barrier from Violet. It's just too late.
Yes, I think the Shock, their best, you know, may have been just backing up a little bit. Everybody takes so much damage. You have to play aggressive around that pillar to try and prevent that Sojourn from getting that line of sight, forcing you back into that choke. So you have to play up there. When you back out, you know, towards the rest of your team, maybe take a little bit, maybe go in right as it's about to tip over.
Sparkle on card duty. Again, being a close range fighter, his team will fall back to the car. Okay, now he'll get to go forward. The Shock want to play on this corner. They need Proper to be able to swing this and have a bit of space to linger and try and line a shot up. Only a semi-jump there from Mikey, not a full commitment, but it's a primal rage here for Fearless. This is a little bit scary now. Yep, Finn taken down by Fielder. The disruption, the Shock are suffering. They cannot get their ducks in a row. And the Dallas Hill, it's hunting season.
And you can see, like, when we go to Edison's POV, just the face, you know, so confident coming out of these fights. Edison, you know, 2 kills, 3 kills sometimes. Yeah, as they want to stop this, you know, comeback right before they could even make it back towards that checkpoint B. You have Sparkle with the Death Blossom. Maybe you can get a little bit sneaky. Looks like he's working.
Okay, early Death Blossom looks pretty good. Might be able to trade, but it's going to be a 3 versus 4 favoring the Fuel. They're happy to fall back now and let much of this Primal Rage expire. I don't know what Mikey's hoping to find with this. Getting back to his team safely?
That trade's good. I mean, he's trying to get the health pack, then get out with his life.
It's dicey, they're trying to chase him. The Shock have one more chance on this map now. They need to group up. They have the players in position, and now it's go time. It's proper Striker, but the ladder is taken down before the fight can begin. Edison surgically removes him from the rest of his team.
They're trying to wait out the overclock. Proper's using the overclock. That's a huge pick. Striker at the Death Blossom. Now the Kitsune Rush, they can go.
Striker will come back, with that Death Blossom. Never had a chance to use it. And the Shock are able to hold on somehow, but now it's go time. We got roads converging here. The Dallas Fuel want to try and hit another gear. Bubble now down, throw another one up. Sparkle's going to be removed by Striker. That Death Blossom, he held it in reserve and it pays off. San Francisco, hang on. 2.5 minutes remain.
They say not just yet. Striker, I think he may think somebody else is behind. He does not want to, after some of the things we saw in point one, first map, he does not want to give up a back cap here.
Can't blame the guy. Clock only just now starting to get bled. Really late in the round for San Francisco to put some stops together. They had the sound barrier at least to answer Chio's. Probably a bit aggressive. Will this be his demise? No, it's actually Striker winning that frontline fight yet again. Dallas now want to group up around Edison, hope that he can create an opening, and so he does. Violet the only elimination so far, and that's not going to cut the mustard. Much better.
Now it starts to get dangerous for the Dallas Fuel. It's a really difficult spot. The payload is stuck in. Some natural high ground cover around there for the Shock to play from. You see it from Edison's POV, kind of coming around these corners. Can't really figure out where players are playing from. Makes it very difficult to land these railgun shots.
Fearless Primal as well is going to make it even harder to line them up. Keep an eye on that. Proper will hope to find some picks with this overclock at Fearless. He's stuck into the back line. They weren't ready for this. And here he goes now. Primal Rage being popped. Edison goes down. Proper finds that key first pick. Fearless now, unsure about how to hit this backline adequately. Popper going to slide away, and Fearless can't chase him down. It's Chio the second on the chopping block. And Popper don't miss. Make it 3. Your MVP is turned up.
3 kills for Proper in the fight.
50 seconds.
50 seconds. Kitsune Rush for both times, but look how further Violet is towards this sound barrier, where I think kind of like everything equals out across the board here. Shock also with Primal Rage. That extra sound barrier could be clutch. Oh, they get aggressive.
They go first, go early here. Fielder actually, they go for the Kitsune Rush. They bait this. They're happy to trade the Primal, I feel.
Yeah, Mikey has to use Primal Rage. Yeah, they end up getting their Kitsune Rush out, and Fielder, you have no way to use this if you're the Dallas Fuel.
Seems like a good trade.
80% to beat.
San Francisco are gonna have the support ultimates. Surely they can make this hold happen. 12 seconds left in the round. Sparkle has that Death Blossom, but Edison! It's lights out! And Proper now going for the overclock. Who dares stand up and challenge him now? The Fuel have no choice, throw themselves into the meat grinder and ground they become. Fearless gets a Suzu there trying to stay alive, but Proper hits another headshot. And the San Francisco Shock have held off the Dallas Fuel on Kings Row. A monumental defensive endeavor.
And being able to bounce back at moments like this. That's that championship stuff right there from the Shock. No Striker, Violet, no Coach Krusty, the whole staff, the organization. They've been there before. Tough times. I mean, a lot of teams could wilt away in a moment like that, but not the Shock.
Proper finds 8 final blows in the last 2 minutes of that round. Slow start, but this is what you need from your star player. Coming alive when it really counts, and San Francisco have evened up the series now. It's one apiece in our grand finals. Don't go anywhere.
because the bomb, Dallas Fuel they're waiting. Oh, the last second.
Does get on it. Will it help his sparkle? Oh, Edison's spawn! He fell off the map. That's not good. 1-0.
That's something we need to take a look at a little bit more as well, as Finn just changed Bob's trajectory.
Oh my God.
Goodbye.
I mean, that is a round-winning boot there by Finn.
Colosseo can go cut back with that rampage. Kellen has hit some pretty big ones in this series as well. But ooh, a takedown here, they might not even need it.
Oh, that rampage was huge. Crowley's going to die to just the bleed. Oh, what a knife by Kellen. Okay.
60 seconds remaining, yeah. Repeated fight with Stalker so low that V couldn't have come any later for Finn Dame to save him. Looks out the blade, doesn't have the healing, and MN3 shoots him out the sky, ending the blade. Early, pops the overclock to find Finn Dame, and again, MN3K for Philadelphia Fusion. Get the team kill and keep this bot moving.
Now as the Ashes are online here, the payload is right there close to the finish line. You can see the Hunters skirmishing over to the side roof. So much chaos, the rally gets put up, but Zernius gets taken down first. Everyone gets deleted by Leaf, and the rally was all for naught.
I don't even know how Leaf sees players through all that chaos there. He somehow perceives it through the matrix, just green lines of text coming down on the screen.
That's a rampage there. Happy gets hit by, but a sound barrier's timed well. Funny Astra and Happy able to get away, and Kempster's found the blade. Killing Vigilante already. OG's a little bit too late with the beat. Again, Kempster now heads upstairs. He sees Kai on his own, and he can't even make it back to the health pack. It's a deflect elimination from Kempster on the Genji. It's all over. There is nothing left in the Atlanta Reign. Not even a whimper as they go. Whoever said lightning doesn't strike twice has never met the San Francisco Shock. Just the depth of talent on their roster that can't be denied.
Some of the most hardcore carry performances that I've ever seen.
This is going to be a wild ride.
Somehow Violet's going to come to the rescue, get a double kill. Toulouse says, how about that one, Chief? See you later.
Dude, his aim is so crispy.
Finn doesn't miss those. Holy cow.
A stick on Hardy. Striker's able to bring the Titan down.
Sam straight to the backline, insta killing. Oh, Mikey!
San Francisco, the greatest team in Overwatch. A nightmare start on Kings Row for San Francisco. Shock becomes their wildest dream as they turn around on defense and stop the Fuel in their tracks. It's not often we see that kind of hold for almost 3 minutes outside the last phase of the map, but the Shock managed to pull it off as the Fuel falter at the critical step.
And you know, if you've been watching the Overwatch League for a few years, you know our grand finals can get snowbally at times, go in one direction where...
A matter of record.
You're with the way Kings Row is going, like, oh man, you know, Dallas clicking, you know, Edison's feeling it right. And that is a huge series-changing win there for the Shock. In a map that did not look like it was going to go their way. They clutch up big time.
Yeah, really got to hand it to them. Of course, Proper, a big part of what allows them to get back into the game, but the real grit and tenacity displayed by that entire team. Striker, of course, and Mikey, who's staying in for a third consecutive map now. This is, I don't know what the longest streak he's had in game.
And I think the decision makes a lot of sense from the Shock, right? It seems to be clicking with Mikey right now.
What a time for it.
Unless you need like Sigma in a situation where on Dorado, as this will be the Dallas fuel map selection, you don't really need that here, right? You can keep playing the Winston. So as long as you can kind of just keep getting away with Winston play, and things are feeling good and clicking good amongst the team, right? I think you leave him in. I mean, you're very close, like the Shock. I mean, you have to be sitting on that stage and you have to be very confident. I mean, you're close to being up 2-0 right now.
That could have gone either way, that first map, that is for sure.
You're a fearless Winston bubble blocking beat that connects on Mikey and Proper, which who knows what happens in that situation, right? But, you know, you're right there.
We may see the need for Colosseo to get something later in the series, but like I mentioned, no Circle Real here, right? That requirement of Sigma not on the table. It's the kind of map where you definitely expect to see very much the same compositions we have so far. In San Francisco with Mikey at the helm, have looked excellent. Dallas faltering there. I mean, there's really no other way to put it on their attacking side. They have so much time to work with. They breeze through the first part of the map. Then they start to get slowed down. Players getting picked off. Often losing someone like Edison at the start of the round. It's not where they wanted to find themselves.
All the pinatas have to go here at the start, evidently. The Dallas Fuel. So, something interesting, they actually play the Tracer here on defense. So we've seen teams do this throughout the tournament thus far. On the defensive side of Dorado, Tracers, you see where Sparkle's position can access some of those high grounds. A little bit easier for flanking time because of the superior movement compared to a hero like Reaper.
Your ability to access high ground or transition from low to high, though, a little bit limited. As Tracer, you need to go sort of around. So I'm curious to see how Sparkle overcomes that. Maybe just trying to control this high ground here, right? Dash across to the top of the rooftop pretty comfortably. Fearless wants to start off the fight pretty early. Fielder a little bit low. He's seen better days, and Violet gives him a case of tinnitus. He won't forget. Good opener for San Francisco. This is such a good sign. Playing attack into high ground defensive holds with Winston on this map typically take time.
Yeah, they slide directly across. They get up on that opposite side high ground. And then when Dallas Fuel jump in, it's a protection Shuju that comes down from Finn. A lot of healing output, right? You see how far he is ahead toward that Kasune rush. And that's going to have Sparkle switch right off the Tracer.
Seen this happen a few times. Teams trying their Tracer early, switching right off of it. Micah wants to start the fight off. Yuri baits out that disruptor shot and will still give Edison a little bit of a zone with which to work. He rounds the card, sees Striker going to Wraith Walk here. He'll wait. He's got the patience. He fires off there. A bit of an erratic shot, hoping to make some connection. Reaper doubling back here. I like this from Sparkle, protecting Edison from Mikey.
As Mikey takes a ton of damage and not able to make it out with his life. I believe gets booped out of that Winston bubble, knocked up in the air, finished off. So the Shock, they make decent payload progress, get very close.
Oh, wait! That's huge, Matt.
They might have thought that he didn't have enough charge to get that one shot, because you need about above 85 to get that one shot nailed down.
5v4, this is perfect for San Francisco. If they want Kitsune Rush, they can have it here too. Mikey heads up. Edison forced into the corridor and somehow, excuse me, I didn't know that Charles IX was issued a front row seat here in the finals.
And throughout all of that, it'll be the Shock actually completing the first checkpoint. Edison with that overclock tries to bounce up. I think Dallas knows that playing this composition, they gotta play close. You back them up into the spot, may as well play close up, get everybody to try and dump some ultimates in.
I mean, Dallas are here anyway, right? They're pretty well committed already to a pseudo spawn camp endeavor. Okay, that's a little bit of a scary sign. Nice little backswing with the Primal Rage Fist there, putting Striker in a position where it's hard to get value out of that Death Blossom. Sparkle trying to do the same thing. Proper just lined him up. Remember, Reaper a little less mobile in that form. It's an easier target to knock down. And Proper knows how to hit him where they hurt.
And it was actually a really early sound barrier there by Violet. And I actually think it catches Dallas Fuel off guard a little bit because they use his sound barrier, then they start to push up. They use a Kitsune Rush last. catches them off guard a little bit. It's difficult sometimes, you know, even at this level, to tell how much charge that Sojourn has on that rail shot. Proper jumps around the corner, kills Sparkle, and that allows them to take that first checkpoint.
Striker having to Wraith walk to the back line here. Not the way that the Shock want to start the fight here, but Dallas did a lot of damage on Fearless and Gio. Gio's in trouble. Proper is probing, hunting, waiting for the Lucio to show his head. It's a game of cat and mouse here. Oh! Is a true Apex Predator!
He's shaking his head like no and just laughing. I mean, the guy is unreal.
No, just try me, he says. Bring me another.
You couldn't even see him.
Well charged up is Proper now. He's happy to go to the high ground. Fielder has to swift step away. Edison has able to plug one in Striker. But Proper has the perfect perch play now. Dallas are able to take up Residence once more towards the cart.
Massive kill there by Edison. It takes out Striker. And when they were trying to play for high ground access here, you can't allow the dive to come through when you've lost your Reaper, right? You need the Reaper up there on the high ground to deter the Dallas Fuel from taking it again. So big kill by Edison to maybe stabilize the Dallas Fuel a bit.
Proper 6-0 right now. 6-0. Absolutely popping off. This is where it counts. Fearless trying to extricate himself from what would otherwise have been a sticky situation, but the sound barrier expires as he floats down and looks for his next target. Mikey's out of the picture now. Sparkle's able to dispatch the broad body of the Winston, and Proper now under scrutiny. Fearless flattens him.
Sound barrier used there by the Shock. They try and push out of that corridor, and you kind of see, like, from the free cam, Mikey really kind of calling out which target they're going to go for. They dive for a target in the back. The Kitsune Rush comes on in. I don't think they may have thought the Dallas Fuel had that at that moment in time.
Shock now want to make their way at least towards some semi-high ground.
You're going to see them take this route with where the payload is in that high ground.
It's the quickest route, right?
Yeah, it's the quickest route, also the safest route. Oh! Maybe not that safe.
Edison delighting our attendants here. Now without Proper, this looks a little bit awkward. The Shock sheepishly trying to back away.
Can you bait them in though? Okay, so Dallas doesn't chase. I was going to say, if you're the Shock, what you could have done here is like backed out, right? And if they would have chased, you actually could have Kitsune rushed right into them. They don't have beat or anything. You still had your Reaper up as that battering ram.
Still a big risk. Gio now has that beat pretty much online. That part of the playbook, that page getting torn out. Striker close with Death Blossom here, combining it with the Kitsune rush. Could be pretty meteoric. Primal range from Mikey. He's found something upstairs. He wants a piece of it. Edison's able to force him away. There when Mikey is low. Trying to get away. Needs to be healed up. Finn now going to throw the Kitsune rush down. Extra healing output for his tank to keep him in the fight. And here comes Striker. Spinning straight at the fuel. And they don't have an answer.
As soon as Reaper gets that limb, triggers that DPS passive in the Kitsune rush, it is so strong.
Stacking speed boost, man.
The speed boost plus the reload, and then also the Death Blossom. Reaper also has the life steal. He becomes so difficult to take out in those scenarios.
Fearless trying to assert himself early here. Just does not want to let the Shock get the jump on them and get on that bridge.
You can't allow Proper to establish high ground, right? Because if you do, he's 100% charged, hits a shot. You're looking at one fight from preventing them from completing the map.
You've got to keep him in these tight viewing angles if you possibly can. Edison hoping to dig him out of formation there. Much of Dallas playing on the low ground as well. It's really just going to be Edison transitioning between the two, trying to find a vantage. Kitsune rush here. The big point of difference ultimate-wise. Primal Rage also up for Fearless.
I think both teams are content, just kind of poking for some damage here.
This looks more than just content. This looks hungry. Proper. Famished. Looking for Edison now, trying to track as he drops down. Fielder going to go with the Kitsune rush, and Sparkle wants to surge forward. The San Francisco Shock getting overwhelmed here. Forced to play into the low ground. Mike trying to bail him out of this stairwell. Sparkle gets it up.
Yeah, they don't want to push in. They're scared that maybe there's like a Kitsune rush coming on back. The Shock are stuck in a really weird spot outside that courtyard. Proper takes an off angle.
They go to the high ground here. They're trying to go around the Fuel. Kitsune rush from behind. The Dallas Fuel now forced away from the card. They have to contest on top of Finn's ultimate. Disrupt shot thrown up here. Flipping the map seems fine when you have control of the card. Striker wants them to come forward. He's baiting them, daring them, cajoling them. Have a chance to use a Death Blossom as they run at him. Seems huge.
Movement.
You've got to do something about this. San Francisco is stealing this card away. And Fielder goes down. It's going to be a sound barrier ready for 4. What? Sparkle's there. Went 3. And he bails out the Fuel again.
The payload's so close to finishing the map.
10 seconds.
A little bit more than a meter. Mike's got a Primal Rage, possibly can touch.
He gets a jump reset on Primal, over he goes. Gonna have a private 10-to-10 with Sparkle. Eventually the rest of the fuel are gonna get back there, but overtime has been triggered. Mikey goes over, but he's taking too much damage. How does he get out of this? Can they keep him alive is the big question. Mikey spending some time out of the fight now while the rest of the Shock try and touch. They're cycling in, keeping overtime going.
They're trying to get beat.
He's here on the Tracer. This is a big change for him. Fielder now, the Kitsune Rush and Edison's able to find Mikey popping out, trying to duel the card, trying to keep this alive. Couple of Shock players left, but Sparkle gets rid of Striker.
They get Sound Barrier.
The big guns are down. Violet Sound Barrier is just not going to be enough here. That's as far as the Shock are going to get.
Kings Row ends with a tremendous defense from the Shock. And they start to bring some of that momentum here into Dorado, and that play by Sparkle is massive. Because I don't think they expected that, right? The Shock come around on a little bit of a flank. They take that high ground. They Kitsune Rush. They force them around the corner. The payload is moving backwards, away from the fuel. Sparkle with that Death Blossom connects with 3 players.
It's actually a brilliant maneuver by San Francisco.
It's really smart.
If you want to force a fight, you want to force an engagement from your opponents, stand on the objective. Dallas were at serious risk of that card just riding off into the sunset without them. That kind of adaptation, that kind of response time, yeah, that's the hallmark of champions here in the Overwatch League. This is how it goes down. Like, it's a mess.
Yeah, the Shock are actually trying to get the payload over, 0.82 meters. Trying to get it over the line. And they have that Winston bow down, and Sparkle ends up inside of it with the Death Blossom. And Striker and Mikey, they're playing so close together. They have to in that type of situation. He gets both.
Okay. San Francisco on the attack, able to unravel this high ground pretty effectively. Dallas hope to repeat that.
The Shock on defense don't opt to go with the Tracer. We see a bunch of teams go for the Tracer. Striker can play it. In theory, you would love to see Proper on that, but with the Sojourn in the mix, you're not going to see him drop that hero.
Maybe an extra layer of defense there for Proper. Striker just will wait for Fearless to step up and challenge.
So you're not going to be able to play as aggressive, let's say, for the Shock, right? If you had the Tracer in the mix. But you can, you can deter some of this action up on the high ground here. You see how they try and put pressure on the Proper? They have the Reaper right in the mix. The Winston can't kind of hold that position for that long. You see right there, Fearless jumps up, doesn't have the bubble, no protection to you. You're just going to fall, right?
So that's like one of the differences between the Tracer defense setup. Reaper really has a staying power, right? If you can stay out of line of sight of the enemy Sojourn, helps if they're dead, by the way.
Almost think of it in the way that teams used to play like the Brigitte on the high ground here at certain times.
Yeah, Dorado did that a lot, right?
Yeah, protect the Sojourn in scenarios like that, as Reaper is really used as like a protective DPS here for the Sojourn.
There's a window there for Dallas. The punish Proper. Oh man, he's giving it to him. Got the K9 internally, this one. Look at that look on the guy's face.
It's like he's playing at home. He is so calm for a rookie.
What is
MVP in the finals?
Brawl Star, by the way, that make that 3 accolades.
Why not win?
Okay, charge rail here is available. Fearless redirected.
Yeah, that was really nice.
I'd be afraid of what's to come here. If you are the fuel, Proper preparing to unleash. Happy to take the fight to the choke. He's got decent lanes to fire through. Disrupt the shot. Okay, the fuel trying to close the gap a little bit here, but they're being careful about it. Suzu already has to be used, and here comes the Kitsune rushes from both sides. Proper charges up, ready to go. Trying to find purchase on a target, but the sound barrier here from the Dallas Fuel makes it hard to get a kill. A nice headshot there, but Sparkle picks him out of the sky. Fearless holds him aloft and allows his teammate to get the deed done.
Oh, maybe not.
He's found 2. And Fearless is out of here.
That is such a huge win for the Shock. Support ults used on both sides. They're able to get to Proper early as he plays some crazy angles and getting right up in the mix.
Time is ticking, 90 seconds left in the round. Edison with an overclock here, trying to take destiny in his own hands.
Trying to find anybody.
The Shock are gone, they've absconded, they've run away. Playing up on the high ground now, there'll have to be a re-engagement from them here. They can't just let this happen, the boom! The boom! They gave up the point! A miscalculation cost the Shock a win here and now.
They're just a second late on going into recontest. The jump needed to be a little bit earlier there from Mikey and the Shock because you knew that boop was going to come through or some form of displacement. And you would have had like the Reaper to TP there right on top of the bubble or something like that to be able to kind of keep that contested. Huge turn of events.
Sigh of relief here for the Dallas Fuel. That was a stay of execution. Now they're trying to, again, assume this pretty far forward high ground position. Proper knows he has to assert himself pretty quickly here. Oh, he gets moved down. He's trying to jump away, but Fearless, once he's got his teeth into him, he won't let go. That is stunning from Chio. Now what's the follow-up looking like? Not too shabby. Mikey out of the picture here. Edison has all the room he needs. Striker's going to be forced back from the front line here, invariably.
Violet ends up using the beat there, and they just try and push up, maybe try and find a kill or two.
That's huge. Striker, that's huge. 3! What a way to make up for lost time.
And to think, just a few months ago, Striker not on this team. It's a late addition, right? You know, you're wondering, like, how is Kilo, how does Sam fit in this team? They bring in Striker. And you think it's probably play like something like the Tracer, but the Reaper, you know, back in the day in the Boston Uprising, the Shock as well in the past, so strong.
Proper took over the Sojourn role. He says, no, I'm going to do this too. Well, they say, want it done right, do it yourself. Another nice one there for Striker, headlining in the last couple of moments. Fearless does not want a touchdown there. He'll scan across the rooftops.
Just like how the Dallas Fuel played a little bit close, tried to spawn camp a bit. The Shock doing the same thing. This fight is going to be very difficult for San Francisco. Lots of good key ultimates for the Fuel.
Kitsune Rush used pretty much straight away. Mikey trying to make it hard for Dallas to benefit from that, but Sparkle, you better believe, he's taking these Hellfire shotguns to the bank. Striker lucky to get away there. It'll be on the car with a sliver of health. That was a wash.
They don't even have to use sound barrier there. Just the Kitsune Rush. And Mikey's got Primal, pops it, and he is just chunked down instantly by the Hellfire shotguns of the Reaper. So I think you're going to have one more contest here, though, for San Francisco.
Still dangerous. Dallas able to snowball some ultimate advantage now. Edison wants to play forward. I don't blame the guy. Mikey getting absolute licking, no way to survive that. And here comes Sparkle. Bowls him over.
Yeah, it's the overclock and the Death Blossom used there for the Dallas Fuel to take our second checkpoint. Essentially, with how close the Shock got, it's about a map completion. You know, 0.83 meters, right? Essentially, you need to just beat that by a little bit. It's essentially a full map completion with 2 minutes on the clock. Not going to be an easy task.
Until now, Violet had a sound barrier coming up, Matt. That's off the table. Proper under scrutiny, intense pressure now as Edison's trying to pick him out. Mikey's large figure gets in the way. And Striker's doing work. Mikey buying enough time there. The numbers will favor Dallas, so they'll get some progress here.
You're going to buy about 15, 25 seconds here of time off that clock. You're the Shock. You just cannot afford to have anybody drop early one of these railgun shots.
Proper looking to have another moment here. This is scary though. He swings this too wide and he's going to be in a world of hurt. Here they go. Bubble thrown down in front of him. Fearless is going to be in his face. Proper strikes first. No field. It goes by the wayside. Kitsune Rush used here now, and the Shock have all the advantages they need. Very clean fight.
Yeah, that's a beat used there as well. And the scary thing is because of where the payload is and where it needs to get to, the defender's advantage is so strong in the respawn, right? It's so close there on Dorado. See how far the offense has to travel to make it there.
They've lost so much time in doing
Shock with a big advantage. You play close, right? You want them to use ultimates here early, and Fearless uses Primal.
Yep, he needs to make some kind of space. He's happy to trade ultimates for that, but in the meantime, the needle is threaded in Sparkle. Laid out.
You have to back up, so now you just use that Primal and got nothing with it. Mikey is going to have the Primal as well. Maybe you use it here.
This is getting ugly. Mikey keeps probing forward. Dallas don't know how to deal with this level of aggression. They keep getting caught on the back foot. They're going to have to go here. What is it? Death blossom from Striker. I can't believe it. Addison tries to go over and Proper catches him in midair. Now this could go wrong for the Shock. They need to regroup here together. And so they do. I love that. Mid-fight, hard to pull that kind of regroup off.
The Kitsune rush is used, and Mikey's actually in a really difficult spot. He's going to make it out.
Okay, here's the Robert. Oh no! Sparkle's Death Blossom! It wilts before the Fuel's eyes! And Dallas are out of options, are out of time! They're out of players! San Francisco take Dorado!
And we typically would talk, right? Proper 18 final blows. For me, the thing is, Striker showed up big time on the Reaper here. Matching Proper 18 final blows, 36 elims as well. Fantastic performance out of the DPS players on the Shock.
San Francisco Shock's defenses on the last two maps have been absolutely sublime. The Dallas Fuel can't get a read on them. They can't feel the flow of these fights. They keep getting caught out. Heading into the break now, the Shock have to feel good, but there's much more Overwatch to play right here after the break. guy go.
5 kills, just like that in a blink of an eye, quick team kill. This guy's just, he's a freak on the sticks, man.
Sam on this Echo already picking up 2 kills. The San Francisco Shock. That was their key to victory there. Aggressive baby, 1 reset, 2. Proper dashes through them all. Proper, almost ghost dashing through them. San Francisco Shock win that fight.
Heads connected, the Nano's there, trying to keep him alive, but here comes the... Oh,
Matrix!
Oh, Kalush!
Finn, the deadly flex support.
It'll be nanos for both teams. That'll be a balcony that hits on a
You're kidding me!
Nice. That is unreal there from Finn.
The San Francisco Shock continue their conquering of the Overwatch League.
Definitely history once again here for the Shock.
Well. Striker's turn to take the spotlight on Dorado. And he does it in style, Matthew. Incredible showing on the Reaper play. This defense from San Francisco on payload maps is ironclad.
I know I should be worried about these stats, but Golden Boy's got the crowd doing the wave in here. It's been going on for an extended period. I mean, look at this. For me, Striker has been, at this point in the series, for me, at least, like the most valuable player for the Shock. I think he has shown up in a big way, specifically on that Reaper role, right? To really make it difficult for Fearless. The combination of Striker and Violet on the Lucio, really making it tough.
Dallas can't deal with what San Francisco are doing to them on these defenses. They're playing very far forward. They are trying to initiate quasi-spawn camps against them every single time because the Shock know with where the card is, we're going to have this fight and we'll have another chance to stop you there. Dallas, for whatever reason, can't seem to get themselves oriented. They're very split coming out of that spawn. Quite impressive to play out of that situation, I think, as the attacker. You've got to head into San Francisco in a game like this, offering negative respect to your opponent. It's going to definitely shake them.
And Fuel gets right back on the stage, and as you see some players from the Shock entering in now, a little bit of a break. When I was coaching Call of Duty, opportunities like this, I know our comp op's gonna be mad I'm saying it, but I would tell our players, like, hey, let's wait a little bit. Let's let them marinate in it on the stage, Let's all enter back in one by one, make the Dallas Fuel just sit there and think about the situation they find themselves in now. Just a little, psychological warfare, so to speak.
Dallas's grip starting to slip a little bit on this series. We'll see that control map playing out in their favor, and they look...
This wave is still going.
Yeah, it don't start. I don't know how you all have the energy. They look so good starting on both these payload maps, Matthew, and then somewhere it just goes down the gurgler for them each time. Pretty insane stuff from the Shock here again. Their adaptations, their ability to identify opportunities to sort of start to play forward, start to play extra pressure on the attackers as they come out. Doesn't matter how good your team is. Well, it does help that you have your both proper and strike with 18 final blows each.
Yeah.
I think out of like a total of your team's 42 or something. Pretty insane.
And you're wondering, like, how are they able to really kind of counter the pressure that Fearless is going to put on? I think they've done it quite well, really protecting Proper. Also Proper, getting really close. And Fearless jumps in, like he actually jumps right in up there with Striker and Mikey at the forefront. Something I've noticed, Mikey will stay in here for the Shock. So
he's the guy.
Look, you're hot with this lineup. You keep it going.
Strap yourselves in, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't get any better than this. Playoffs Overwatch in the Anaheim Convention Center. It's electric in here. And we're heading to Esperanza.
Our newest push map in Overwatch 2. Plays vastly different than New Queen Street and Colosseo, which have been in the map pool for the entire season. And you wonder, like, teams are so comfortable on, like, New Queen Street, on Colosseo. I can understand why you don't go to Colosseo, right? Because the way where the bot is in that sightline, it's such a coin flip at the start, and, with the way Proper is playing and whatnot, you don't want to risk it in that type of scenario. Maybe there's just some stuff on New Queen Street that the Fuel do not like. where maybe teams haven't figured out the best way to play this map yet. Maybe they have an idea that a lot of other teams don't.
One thing that stood out to me about this map, Matthew, is the ability for teams that are behind for much of the round to come back and sometimes even win it. I'd say that's happened a disproportionate number of times compared to our other push maps. That's the beauty of Esperanza. It never truly is over. We throw these stats out about like, wow, the team who gets the first checkpoint wins X amount of the time. On this map though, that trend seems to be subverted. Music to my ears, yeah.
The Shock just spamming the bell at the top. So we'll go see what the Dallas Fuel are doing for now. Because it is all business on the Fuel side of things.
Well, business ain't great right now, so you want to hope so.
Business ain't booming on the Fuel side, so.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, our fourth map in this first of 4 series. Esperanza is about to kick off.
And I like this position that Mikey's gotten early. It makes it very costly just positionally for the Dallas Fuel to actually push on in. He gives it up. He actually goes in pretty deep.
Yeah, I love that dive. Put that pressure on Edison. Deny that off angle now. Dallas are all forced to group up around Edison to protect him now. They give up a lot of space, and that's what allows Proper to start moving the bot, to start to wrap around. That was a sitter there on Chio. He almost had him, but in the meantime, they've lost Mikey. Proper not able to convert on the space he's given there. San Francisco have to give up the ghost pretty quick.
See, for me, I actually think the play there is for Mikey to actually hold that position. You have to, because then it forces the Reaper and the Winston around that corner. That allows Proper to nail some shots. Disruptor shot, you can actually shoot right in that cubby, right on top of Mikey. Make it costly in terms of HP pools. Dallas would have had to back out and then you dive. I think once you get that position to dive in right away, you give up that advantage that you worked hard to earn.
High ground now for Dallas. That's their prize for being able to push to this first little choke here. Finn, Suzu thrown down there. Edison hoping to capitalize and follow. Not able to come up with anything just yet. The bot will stall out under the bridge for the time being here. Dallas want to regroup for a moment.
Chio's got to be so careful. I like a wall riding on top of those bubbles.
Dallas get forced back around the corner here. They want to dive in though. Kitsune rush now is going to spur them forward. Mikey trying to take to the sky, but he drops to the ground lifeless. It's an easy one for Sparkle. And here goes the bot, still on the move. San Francisco now have to make something happen with 4.
Yeah, I mean, you have Mikey coming back off spawn. This map is way bigger than a lot of the other push maps.
Awkward stuff here. Chio there disrupting the shot because they try and line up and use his high ground to their advantage, but they've found nothing so far, not even a rail, not even a lick of damage. Here they come though, Kitsune rush! And they're dancing among the cobblestones.
And Fearless tries to jump up to the high ground, maybe to get the Shock players off of there. Gets booped down by Finn, and Chio actually tries to dislodge the members of the Shock from that high ground as well. Gets a boop, knocks them down, but you see the staircase behind Proper. You're able to access it again so fast.
Proper still wants to go for this, despite taking that hit there from Edison. Careful, Proper. Really trusting Finn there to keep him topped up. This is the kind of sideline he wants, and you see Fearless are trying to interrupt it now with the Primal Rage. He actually jumps away. Maybe looking to pressure Finn down for the time being, but this lets Proper reassume this high ground position. Someone has to challenge this, and Fearless turns up just to deny the high ground. It's classy stuff, but in the meantime, they've lost Edison. Mikey's getting value for this Primal man.
Oh, and the beat's not in time to be able to save Edison. Chio actually uses the sound barrier there. You get almost nothing for it.
Awesome.
Oh, this is so good for San Francisco.
Mikey using that displacement from the Winston dive to actually knock the enemy Reaper away. Sparkle's Death Blossom essentially gets shut down. Now the Shock's starting to put it together.
Still, pretty good progress from the Dallas Fuel. Not even halfway through this game of push. 53 meters for the Dallas Fuel. The Shock will get it going. Do the Shock decide to push up? They actually opt to kind of like hold the bot here, and they'll hold this high ground.
Again, that's something Fearless wants to deny, especially from Proper. They need to try and control his position, but in the meantime, there goes the mobility for San Francisco. Proper needs to back away again, but now his ability to regroup with his team will be compromised. It doesn't matter though! He plants his feet and says, I'm here to stay! Fielder can go home instead. That is just dirty!
And Edison actually takes out Mikey on the other side of things. Proper still has some charge. Fearless just trying to hold on to this bot. I tell you what though, if Proper gets that first kill,
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
And he pushes up, with the overclock, he slides into a Reaper to try and take out Sparkle. I mean, that aggressive is something we do not see from a lot of other players.
Dallas don't quite get that checkpoint by the looks here, so the Shock can get ahead here. They're close 2 meters away. Here comes the Kitsune rush from both sides. Striker wants to reposition to wherever Fearless is going to turn up, and he goes to work with the Hellfire shotguns. Fearless is down to half here, but he's able to get away, get some space for the time being.
Violet's going to get beat. Violet's going to get beat here.
And he lets it go. Only on to 3 though. Mikey's already taken down, but Proper evens the score. Fearless and Chio brought to their knees and make it 3. Why don't you? It's all about Proper there. Fielder can't do much more but find a kill on the way out. And there's your first checkpoint. San Francisco nail it.
And time again, we've actually seen the Shock able to come up with a sound barrier a bit earlier than the Dallas Fuel in a lot of these key fights. And something like Violet's been doing all season long, able to get these sound barriers so fast. Right now, getting at an average of, a minute and 48. But Chio on the other side, he's been holding it, he's working his way towards another one now, but 2 minutes and 41 seconds. That is so fast getting these sound barriers for the Shock.
Violet's having a great game, by the way, doubling up Chio's healing. And Proper is there again. Edison just has to cop that one sweep. Take another crack at it next time.
Every time that happens, you just feel like a little bit of the soul is just drained out of the Dallas Fuel. It's just so disheartening to try and push up and see those railgun shots come up, result in those big kills.
Proper still hungry. He'll have his kind of flesh here. Oh, Chio! You best get up early if you want to come at the king like that and make it another. Bring me more, says Proper. Fearless is eventually able to neutralize him, but the damage may already been done.
A Fielder uses the Kitsune rush here.
This might work out. Mikey's under a lot of pressure here. Dallas are trying to establish a foothold, and they spend dearly in order to do so.
So Dallas has to invest extremely heavy here, and they still don't even have the bot going in their direction. Finn's going to use the Kitsune rush. You have Striker with a Death Blossom coming around the corner.
Or you can run.
Oh, they get out so fast.
Great disengage from Dallas.
That was sound barrier and Kitsune rush there from the Shock.
The Fuel is still giving up bot progress here, though. Eventually, they need to actually be able to move the objective back.
So although Dallas pushed up pretty far, they don't have the checkpoint. So the bot actually stopped to that checkpoint.
That's right.
For an extended period. And with 3 minutes on the clock, you think you just burn clock here. It's going to be tough for the Fuel to push up.
Edison finds the overclock here to break the deadlock. But Proper, what is this flank? What is this audacity? Proper knows where his bread's buttered here. He's definitely made a statement.
Dallas will get control of the bot. It takes a while, but with that close spawn, you're going to be able to challenge this really early for San Francisco.
Proper accounts for 13 of 22 of San Francisco's final blows right now. I don't need to spell it out for you.
So I like this position that the Fuel are in. The issue is they have to be the more aggressive team.
They're going to try for that too. Kitsune rush now is going to be thrown down. Finn is a long way away from that one. And perhaps that pick on Mikey will do the trick. Bot's going to be moving pretty quickly back through this choke, Matt.
No primal, no support ults. No way you're going to keep him up. Is this
got to be checkpoint?
Yep, that'll be the checkpoint here for the Dallas Fuel as they'll get that close spawn now.
A brief interlude here, a chance to take the breath as the bot removes Rust from the crevasses. Okay, Proper trying for the overclock. The sound barrier might be a little bit of a wrinkle in that plan, though. He's forced back, and here comes Sparkle. He'll have his due. And this puts Dallas in striking distance now of Shock's total. They're going to get there, Matt.
It'll be the Dallas Fuel taking the lead here. Dallas has to use everything, though, to make that happen. Still a decent amount of time left in this game.
Ooh, 90 seconds. It's ticking down, Matt, real quick.
The bot will go pretty fast in the Shock's direction.
What a Suzu! What a save on Proper! Finch! Absolutely incredible there. Eventually he's going to be brought down, though. He was so far forward anyway. Striker's found 3 in this fight, though, and he's still hungry. Sees Edison try and go upstairs, and Striker instead puts him in the ground!
That is such a huge fight win for San Francisco because they don't have to use any ultimates to make that happen. What Dallas wants there is to kind of get as much progress as possible, force some ultimates out, burn clock. they don't really get it that much further. And then also they have a huge ultimate advantage. The bot's gonna speed run its way back to that barrier. I think if you're Dallas, you gotta take a really early fight here.
With what, I guess, is the question. What do they start this off with?
They're trying to bait them around the corner for like a Kitsune.
It works. Look, they've gone over Fearless. Mike is able to get to the back line, but Striker thinks he actually wants to fight around the bot here. He doubles back. Dallas are able to disengage at least from the Kitsune rush. Edison playing very safe here.
The sound barrier advantage, though, could be the difference.
Edison, he doesn't want any of that smoke. Striker gonna try and take the fight to the DPS. He opts to back away. Sparkle, not ready for this sound barrier now. Fielder has Kitsune Rush available. Will he have a chance to use it? Gio, he's in help. He needed someone to save him there. The Fielder gonna go without him though. Kitsune Rush now is in place. Striker's trying to shut this down quickly, but they back away. Great spacing from Dallas here. Fielder puts up a bubble. Broad Edison is a big kill, make no mistake now with a 3 versus 3. And Sparkle surges forward once more. It comes up with the goods. And that'll do it. Dallas even up the series. Now we have a game.
And typically in push, the team that gets that checkpoint first has like almost an 80% win rate. And the shotgun at first, Dallas has a pretty close to the other side of things. But they come up clutch there at the end to tie the series up.
Play for play, blow for blow. Dallas refused to give any ground to San Francisco. It is the most competitive grand final we have ever seen. Both of these teams refusing to give an inch. 3 maps left in the series here to play. Who will it be to take map number 5? Don't go anywhere. It doesn't get any closer than this.
Inbound with cargo.
will start the shout and the blade from Sparkle with it. Now that their flow target so high, gets deflect on the arm.
Goes to the back wall, he takes the double shot. Edison with a 5K. That's what you want to see.
Geo demands shears. A triple for Lucio.
He's getting unreal value right now. What is this?
But when it's Hardman is in one-man army at the front.
Knows the burn blue. Burn brighter.
Just as we fear, the blue flame may be sputtering out. It flares to life with renewed vigor as Esperanza is claimed by the Dallas Fuel. It's a tied game, tied series. Some back and forth haymakers being thrown. Dallas squeak an important map win out.
So close as we will go back to control for the next map. It'll be the Shock pick. It'll be Oasis. The Shock, you're going to go back and look at that. That is one they could have won. Kitsune Rush, Sound Barrier, and Death Blossom. They use the beat and they don't actually push up. Like, I almost think like we went on with Mikey and he was juggling Chio and got that kill and everybody here was going crazy. But it just took him out of the fight for so long just to chase out Lucio. There was really nothing that was going to go on there.
Virtually eliminated himself, even if he was alive. He wasn't where he maybe needed to be in that moment. San Francisco select Oasis. It's the 5th map in this series. Again, they know from here on out, still quite a climb to make. Winning this and then obviously Dallas's pick would seal the deal. But the Fuel now looks like they've found their second wind. Another gear, they've gone up. Sparkle coming alive in that last map for Dallas. Those last 2 Death Blossoms, big difference makers, especially without Mikey and his bubbles in his way.
I also think, so I think this map may be a little bit more important for the Fuel, right? If both, you get to game point for both teams, essentially. But if you're the Shock, and you end up dropping this here, their circuit, bringing in Kaluj on Sigma and Kilo on some of those hit scans, Dallas, they've tried playing Dorado during the season and whatnot to have that extra hit scan, and it just has not worked out. That's one where I think the Shock would have a huge advantage on. So yeah. I feel like there's more pressure here on Dallas because I think the Shock have a really good pick for that next match.
Dallas didn't want to play Sigma on that map. They had Harbin Zaya, and they weren't playing that sort of poke composition at all on in the previous tournament. Dallas do not want to go to that map, but they also don't want to drop this one. Good real back and forth stuff here. Again, proper 14 out of 29 of his team's final blows on the last map, continuing to be a headliner. So frightening even in map losses, but here come the Fuel once more. We're up to the races on Oasis.
And Violet on the Lucio. We talked about how fast building these sound barriers.
Actually, get value out of a map.
Right, yeah, I mean, it's great you're building them. You've got to make them high value.
Edison here again, very safe place to start.
Not charged up enough yet.
Hard to even find opportunities to build charge. He actually concedes high ground here, but then disrupt the shot. Will give the Shock pause for thought. In goes Mikey, bubble thrown down straight away. Edison has to make use of this safe angle for the time being here. Eventually someone's head is going to swivel in his direction, and Fielder is out at sea. Screeching Wilson as Mikey gobbles him up.
As everybody pushes in there for San Francisco, and they get Sparkle really low at the Star Fielder as well. Edison gets low, it'll be the point going to San Francisco's first.
Edison's bizarre adventure, he ends up on the opposite side of the map, going for the health pack here, knowing Fielder was out of the picture. Dallas surge back into the point here. What, looking for a pick and proper? What is this? The audacity of this man!
The railgun is supposed to be used at range, not like a shotgun. He gets right up, and it's interesting, they've done that a few times. He slides up, gets right in Edison's face, and then the protection suit comes right down on top, where he has a second of invulnerability to land that shot, and it seems time and time again he does.
When we say dive comp, we don't mean the whole team dives. Normally there's a component of the team that dives, and your Sojourn will sit back. Proper, not about that life. Again, making sure the Fuel know that he respects them none.
Sound barrier available here early as well for the Shock. I think you just got to use it, get more aggressive behind it. Yeah, that's what they decide to do.
Primal even fearless. Again, trying to make it hard for Proper to connect any shots. In the meantime, Edison has the room to work with. Striker goes down. Fearless has done his job, Matt.
That is exactly what you want to see out of your Winston in a meta like this. Sound barrier used. You think the Shock are going to get aggressive behind it. Primal Rage used and just knocks Proper out of line of sight of anybody.
Shock get a pretty nice buffer here though, 56%. It really takes a while for Dallas to put it together as most of the fighting happened off the point. Here's the Kitsune Rush though, which is the 1 kill on Violet. Should be enough to seal this up. Finn doesn't even bother going for his ultimate here. Mikey's Primal was used. That's gonna be the waste. Okay, Edison issues a challenge mid-round.
And I wonder, you know, just kind of looking at the series in totality, if you're better off maybe trying to use that sound barrier, your own rush, to combo that, because Mikey's used Primal a few times during that Kitsune Rush from the Dallas Fuel, and he gets just chunked down so fast.
You want bubbles during that Kitsune Rush. I don't know if you want the Primal Rage necessarily. The cooldown reduction is huge. Here's the Death Blossom from Striker. Nobody's there to receive it, though. Sparkle now tries to walk the road. And Mikey's out of the picture here. Edison in a safe place, but you can't escape from Proper.
Anywhere safe with him on the map? Nope.
The guy is dangerous, almost has another rail ready to go here. All of Dallas getting bundled off into that left-hand side room here.
And they have the healing of both supports. It's actually going to be a point flip. Sparkle had to step off him for a brief sec.
Yeah, Sparkle didn't want to face down Proper at all. Now the Shock are playing with Halfway! And Proper's going to the bank with it. Still is able to bring them down, but here's a beat from Violet, Matt. The Shock want to maintain their claim to this space, and they will. Fearless is so low. Dorado goes for a Kitsune Rush, but it can't keep the Winston alive. That ultimate goes to waste. Can they get something with that now?
They have Mikey low. They're just trying to push him back, but it's going to be Finn getting on the point here. Mikey will come back as well.
That is huge. You worry about that Kitsune Rush, right? How do they get use out of it? They lose a player early. Dallas commit. They say, we have to go now. 4 players or 3, we have to go. They're going to even this up, Matt.
They're going to get very close to a tie game. Finn has to be so careful. Trying to cross to the rest of the team.
Edison starting to position a little bit more aggressively here. They want to cut the Shock off. Dallas reluctant to push any further than off the point, though. They will be awaiting San Francisco's first move. Railgun there, Edison acknowledges Proper's presence on the left-hand side, but doesn't inflict any damage. Here is the rush, Matt. Finn goes in. Edison going to be forced away. The swift step to try and back him up. And Mikey going to go for the Primal once more, just to force them away. San Francisco have the point, but it's 99 for Dallas. Last fight.
Dallas intentionally gives that up there. They know they can re-engage with that sound barrier.
Sound barrier, here it is. Like you said, no support ultimates available for San Francisco. They have to play cagely from the extremities of the point, but eventually Dallas are going to look to take the fight to them now. Mikey takes it, licking out. The opening needs to be topped up, but Dallas will flip the point now. It's 99 to 99, and Edison still has all the room he needs. Striker, Death blossoming in the woods, but no one's there to see it. It's going to be Sparkle instead. Mikey comes back in, but he gets blown to smithereens. And the Dallas Fuel steer the ship home in the first round.
And our first control map goes the distance. But the way the first point on control went here, looks like we could be going the same, as these two teams are so evenly matched. Think about the Shock. It looked like potentially earlier in the week, this is a team that could be out early, and you're kind of talking about how disappointing the season is, as, you know, Proper, just great in the regular season. They've gone on an insane loser bracket run. I feel like getting better and better with each series. You see, just matching that stellar play of the Dallas Fuel.
A couple days ago, we wouldn't have thought they'd be able to stay in lockstep with a team like the Fuel. A #1 and #2 seeds, respectively, meeting up in the final. Their paths converging here at the nexus of the Overwatch League season.
Dallas decides to take high ground on the side first. The Shock, they'll take the highway side.
Fearless taking the opportunity, forces a swift step there from Finn. So just having to get that cooldown out. It's a good way to start. It doesn't matter though. There's no saving Edison there. Proper balls one through his brain.
I don't think he's actually even aiming for Edison there, because Sparkle's coming around the corner. Then actually dodges it, and Edison just right behind him.
Proper is here to excite and delight. And there's the delivery on that promise here. San Francisco will start with this early lead. Let Proper get going, man. the game's going to get away from you awful quick.
And this is one of the control points in Overwatch, just in all of the maps, right? That is very difficult to flip. A lot of spots to contest from, a lot of cover on the point. Shock can get a ton of percentage out of this.
Maybe early right there from Striker unclear. He takes a bit of damage up front. Oh, they're hunting for Edison, and Proper spears him to the floor!
He is not scared of him at all in that matchup. I mean, just as soon as he has an idea where Edison is, I am getting right in his face and we're having a fight.
I love that. So often we see the Sojourns from range, right? Maybe try and hope that there's a random railgun headshot connecting. Proper doesn't want to leave it up to chance, Matt. He believes he's better, knows it in fact. There's the Kitsune rush here, and Chio getting picked off. Dallas disperse a little bit as they try and get towards the point here, and this one is a non-starter.
Yeah, as they try and jump over the top. Interesting, Fearless gets on the point. Just step from Fielder, getting right to him. They use the Kitsune rush as, you know, the Shock are actually trying to move their way back onto the point there, trying to force them into the rush. Doesn't even matter, though.
80% ticking. San Francisco, crucially, with a sound barrier in reserve.
This point's been a bloodbath.
They've got everything they need, Matt. They're so far ahead. Oh, Proper! Okay, fancy footwork there. A little bit of Twinkle Toes keeps him alive, and now the spawn camp begins. What can one do against such reckless power? Dallas posing the same question. Fearless is able to slip through the defenses and get a touch here, but everybody's coming for him. Fearless gets off here. Couple players coming in. He eventually goes down. The Fuel had to do it with only 4. This time it's Sparkle now. A very sheepish contest. Edison was able to find Violet though. There might be something here. A sound barrier also going to be committed. Edison looking for more value off this overclock now. Dallas have been allowed to establish a foothold here, but for how long? Sound barrier now is over. Dallas need these reinforcements and they need them fast. Edison is a full charge with no targets to find here. The stave Mikey opposite tries to interfere with Fearless's plans. Edison still has a safe pocket to work from here, but now he's going to get pressured down, Mikey. And as Violence, the death wasn't from Striker, punctuating the sentence that says, we'll see your first round and raise you the second.
That was not a close round. Shock, they establish dominance and control of the point first, and they do not look back. So we move to the final round on Oasis. So much pressure here. Winner of this round goes to series point. For me, let's see who kind of goes for that high ground control first, right? There's some high ground on the backside of the points here. Who tries to take control of that first? And then who has to play from that low ground, because it can be very difficult.
This could be it. The back-breaking round in this first of 4 series. Going to series point is a huge boost for either squad. Fearless there has his little home invaded up on that high ground. Disrupt the shot thrown to force him down.
So interesting, no team takes that high ground first, but Dallas takes the point. And I think it's because if Mikey actually kind of dives in here towards Edison in the back, he can actually use that slide and the dash to get up there towards the high ground, where nobody on the shot could access it then.
Edison farming that bubble here. Proper goes really low. Fielder has to get out. Look at the damage on Dallas right now. That has to be topped up, but Fielder is there. Proper is playing so far for the rest of his team that he knows he can just slide away if he has to. Dallas are grouped up. They're looking scared, but Mikey is low, low, low. And Proper still goes where he pleases. Sparkle walked head first into that one.
And Sparkle and Fearless are just taking so much damage that as soon as that happens, it's just some damage down from Striker, Proper as well. And then they just capitalize so fast. And the Shock don't mind Mikey taking damage because they feel like the Dallas are not going to capitalize, not going to play aggressive around that corner.
They're not. Proper is constantly swinging left to right around that pillar. Edison is playing from inside the room.
He plays Sojourn almost like instead of like more of a long-range railgun in like that medium to close range.
Like Cassidy sightlines almost.
Yeah.
Okay. Gio there watered away. Sparkle again doesn't want to be here. Edison slides on out, and it's going to be an overclock now for Proper. The Foxes are coming home. Edison able to find Mikey early in the fight. Finn uses Kitsune Rush as well, and there goes Gio. His head pops like a balloon. And Proper has the space, he has the room. What can he do with it now? A striker out of the mix. The front line's starting to collapse a little bit, but Edison is no longer a threat. Proper trying to get people to look at him, trying to garner some attention, and Fearless happily obliges. He's going after the Sojourn, but Dallas don't have the point. They need to get a flip here.
And you know, the sound barrier is not great there from Violet. It doesn't say striker, but look at this Mikey back in the mix. The point is not flipped, and he's got Primal.
Crucially, Sparkle trying to go for the death blossom, but it's cut down by Proper. He found the headshot to interrupt that ultimate. What a crucial moment for him to make that happen. And here comes Mikey. Sound barrier now for the Dallas Fuel. Mikey having to play from the extremities here, but he sees Edison. He thinks about going downstairs and dealing with it, but a Kitsune Rush comes out from Fielder. Saves the Sojourn's life for now, but all the while, Shock are ticking up this capture percentage now at 78. Mikey's low. Proper's able to find Fearless, though again, the Winston battle being won out once more, and Striker comes in. Sparkle removed, and Chio has to head for the kills. This has gone all wrong for Dallas.
That fight goes so long. They lose Edison here at the end, 90%. End counting for the Shock. One fight separates him from going to game point.
Edison's gonna be late, Matt. It's 4 players that Dallas have to make this happen with. It's like Helm's Deep, an unlikely scenario for the Fuel. Their Sojourn is on the way, and the Shock gives some ground here. But Proper's done with that. He's here to take what is his. Bubble up in the way, but it's going to be a Kitsune Rush coming down now. Proper looking to back away. See Sparkle heading his way, and the bubble now thrown down over him. But there it is! That's the pick! Sparkle's down, but Edison's able to reciprocate this time. It's Mikey taken off the board. Playing around that middle pillar again, and Proper still swinging wide. Real wide. Upstairs, and Edison, he's 6 feet under. Fearless now trying to get some value out of this primal, but everybody's looking at him. There's not enough healing for the Fuel. Fielder now throwing out his tickets, but nobody wants him. San Francisco go for championship points.
The momentum is so on the side of the Shock. Dallas coming out of winners proper. So cool on stage. Dallas, they've been so good all season long. We've been talking about the #1 seed coming this event. They've looked fantastic towards the winners bracket. And this Shock team has gone on such an unbelievable run, led by the season MVP. One map away from stealing this event.
It's all on the line now. It's all to play for. San Francisco 1 step away from glory. Stick around. There's much more of this story to be told. one more step, one more map for San Francisco to find out what's on the other side of the horizon. Championship points is up now after a showing on Oasis that was nothing short of breathtaking.
And they do not need a break. Nobody getting up there from the shot. They're like, hey, let's get right back into it. It's Dallas Fuel. They step off the stage for a second. Man, just think about the Shock as an organization, right? Like, not only would this be their third championship, but such different versions of this team, right? Different looks, different players.
Almost nothing's the same. One player, at least here, I guess, a plus striker.
Violet and Krusty, right? I mean, kind of like they're the like last standings of the original squad. Striker as well wins with this team too. So they have just proven to be such a strong force in the Overwatch League.
Here is your Lucio head-to-head, and it tells quite the story.
Mind you, this player, Violet, was like one of the best, if not the best, flex support in the league. Decides this season, with Finn coming on board, I'm going to play the Lucio, I'm going to play more of a shot caller type of role. And he has been, look, not the flashiest Lucio. No, he's not wall riding off, the top ropes, coming down, making plays. But he has been so rock solid on the hero all year.
Violet may have trodden this ground before, but each time it's like the first. The arena now, almost a reverent hush.
We move past the wave.
We have indeed. The question I think that everyone is asking of the team in blue, what do you have left?
So I think there's got to be an adjustment here from the Fuel. Take a look at the next map in the set. It will be Route 66. So when Fearless is jumping in, right, trying to make a play on Prop, what we're seeing consistently is that Proper is actually, instead of like sliding out away from harm, he is actually sliding into the bubbles of Mikey, into the range of Striker, with the protection Suzu of Perico, and then Fearless is just kind of left in the middle of nowhere. There's got to be some type of adjustment here, I think, for the Dallas Fuel. And whether it's maybe Fearless using some leaps and then kind of like looking like he's going to go in.
Fake jump, right?
Yep. Like a feint, right? Feinting he's going to go in, stays in that position. Maybe it gets Proper to use that slide early, then catch him off.
That was a tactic popularized by a team many years ago. Ninjas in Pajamas, a predominantly Finnish roster who mastered the counter dive in a Winston-based meta. They always said, we don't want to go first, we want to bait aggression and then hit their backline, speed out of range. That strategy, although the game has evolved so much since then, still exists. And it's still an important way to answer a dive mirror.
I just think it's important as well because like you gotta get Edison going a little bit. Confidence, right? Mentioned it the other day. Like he feels like he can be the best player in the world at times. Just deflating, getting taken out time and time again.
So what's on the other side of the horizon, San Francisco? Dare to find out. On the attack here at Route 66, of course, Dallas off to take a relatively close hold. They don't try and flood towards spawn here, and they look a little uncertain, actually, about what to do about this positioning.
So they don't want to play extremely far up. They just kind of poke here at the beginning as disrupt their shot. Sparkle's got enough break for him to make it out.
Proper opens it up. Wouldn't be a shock map without it. Everyone throwing themselves at him, and he's able to slip through the cracks. That's a pretty compelling start here for San Francisco.
Proper only knows one direction. It is forward. Gets right up on that high ground. W key. Look how far up he is there with Violet. He's just trying to farm some damage. Like, hey, you want to come through this choke? Maybe I just rip somebody's head off.
He wants the Fuel to know. He wants the Fuel to know he's coming for them perpetually. Dallas ward him away from the high ground here with the teleport forward from Sparkle. Fearless even throws down the dome. But Proper still hunting. A lot of pressure now He's head to the high ground. Here comes that aggression from Proper, and he's popped back up. Somehow he's still standing. Fielder is able to find Finn. That's a key pick-off, especially with Kitsune Rush on board. San Francisco peter out here. They take too long to strike a critical blow.
When Dallas went in the back, Rush was just looking at Fearless like, I don't care what's going on. You chase their Sojourner around. You do not let him get out of your face. It's right there, you see Fearless always right in front of Proper, not letting him get that space.
Discipline from Fielder there, doesn't use the Kiriko ultimate. Finn will have one to match in this fight. It's going to come down to the finer points of execution. Sparkle and Striker are a long way away from Death Blossom, so that may not be a factor here. Proper playing from a compromising position, you might think, but he's able to get away to safety now. Sound barrier first from the shock. Gio's holding on to his right now, but San Francisco can't derive an advantage with that ultimate. This is huge for Dallas. Monumental. They're back in this.
That is a massive fight win for the Dallas Fuel. Support ults blown on both sides, but Proper ends up trying to go with the overclock. Maybe thinks he's on a good flank with a nice angle on top of Big Earls behind the Dallas Fuel, and results in nothing.
1 minute 20 left here for the Shock to make a real dent in this map.
Not a ton of time.
Being staved off the last couple of fights pretty comfortably. Edison starting to feel maybe a little bit more confidence, but he's still cautious as ever. Bubbling the way, he wants to take it a big Earl, then Proper into the wall. And make it two. Finn now trying to escape. Edison able to connect there. Looked like a Susie might have interrupted there. Edison thinking, wait, what's that shadow behind me? Now it's my own tank. Less than a minute for San Francisco. The gauntlet was thrown by the Shock, and the Dallas Fuel, they've got a decent pitching arm themselves.
They got a ways to go, do the Shock. Not really a ton you love to work with, right? Overclock was used by Edison, so the Primal with the Kitsune Rush, maybe Mikey's able to come up with something. And the Death Blossom, with so much ways to avoid it, especially on this map, could be tough.
Feels there, forced to keep his head down by Proper, who's hunting. Edison's going to play her in the billboard here.
They're trying to get Violet beat.
He's trying to wait for Proper as well to stop strafing. Maybe he can find a connection there. Violet's going to be pushed away.
They're just trying to bait damage here to get this beat for Violet.
Gio's pretty far behind here. He needs to be catching up in that metric. Proper now up in the high ground there. Primal rage for both Wisdoms. Can they force some action here? It looks like there could be trouble in the tunnels. And Sparkle's taken down. Kitsune Rush now for the Dallas Fuel. Can they recover? No, they cannot. Fearless tries to bubble this one up, but it's not going to be enough. Crisis averted.
Really nice use of the Death Blossom there. Mikey after Primal gets really low. Has to jump back towards the team who's kind of in that Kitsune Rush from the Dallas Fuel. Mikey lands a bubble. There can't be any follow-up because Striker is using the Death Blossom inside of that bubble. You're not going to chase that kill onto Mikey, go into the Reaper. And Shock able to win that and have both support ults on deck.
That's smart for Dallas, right? Using the Kitsune Rush and getting nothing for it. We thought the Shock were trying to just build up, but they just started the fight with Primal Rages. Seems to work just fine. Mikey and Fearless here trading blows. Bit of a wet noodle fight here, and it's about forcing the positioning of the enemy Winston. Edison's going for it though. Time for the overclock. And there it is! Good opener. Still some work to do now, and that should be enough with Mikey and Finn both out of the pitch of the Shock. We'll have to concede.
Yeah, it's interesting. The Shock don't feel that they, Violet not gonna make it out. They don't feel that they need to kind of invest anything and win that fight, right? When the overclock comes out, Mikey doesn't have the lead, doesn't have Primal, so you can't really get in Edison's face. You're all kind of stuck there in the middle of the road. You may as well just go again, right? You know you have an advantage in terms of support ults. No reason to burn them and waste them there.
Fearless getting a bit of information here. He notices that most of the Shock are trying to play on this route. Proper trying to circle around here. Looking out for Edison. Finds Field a bit. Oh my goodness, that was close. Just a bit more charge, and this fight could have been over already. Dallas now taught their lesson. It's going to be a sound barrier to make this a bit safer for them. Kitsune Rush is on the ground. Proper hasn't gone for that overclock just yet. And there's a decent amount of Alpha Strike damage on the Dallas Fuel. Sparkle trying to back away, but Edison's found Violence. Now the Shock are committed. They don't really have a way to escape. Guts, glory. It's all there for the Shock, but no W.
A little surprised that we didn't see Proper end up using the overclock there. Sparkle and a few other players trying to hightail it out pretty low in that scenario. So, Violet still holding on to this sound barrier for this Kitsune rush that's going to come down.
A mismatch of support ultimates here. Many of the other relevant ones are on deck, though. Finn has to jump away. He's going to be pursued. Sound barrier now from Violet. Mikey doesn't get it, but has to prime away to give him some survivability. Can't say the same for Fearless, though. He's in danger. Proper finally fells the raging beast. When there's Sparkle, he bails out the fuel. And we're going all the way. Dallas, all they have to do is turn around on this attack, have a good showing, and they can force that final map. But we've seen them falter when it comes to those offenses, man. Even halfway through the map, it's all they had to push on those first two payload maps. And they've been staved off before. They're not out of the woods yet. But Sparkle bailed them out there big time.
Yeah, big time kills from the Reaper of the Dallas Fuel. In Dallas Fuel, you think their offense can be a little bit better, right? More aggressive, getting Fearless into, positions to make plays. Where the Shock, they had an advantage in terms of support ults, but with the way this map is, right? With this kind of verticality and different types of bridges and whatnot, very difficult to get great use out of that Kitsune rush.
Sparkle here, he just picks this spot so well. The Kitsune rush means that he can get in position. That's the ultimate combo right now. And San Francisco are probably relieved that they even managed to get past that first phase of the map, right? Getting into
very difficult.
Getting into that second is a big deal. Oh, I like this from Dallas, a little spicy. It's been done before.
The Shock will play close. We'll see for how long. Fearless on the Roadhog. Oh, thought maybe we were going to see seen some teams go for the Roadhog with trying to get a hook at the start here. Sonic Arrow to check, see if anybody's coming.
Well,
games though.
Dallas Fuel know what the Shock are up to now. Proper trying to kick something off here. Edison, as always, really just trying to make sure he puts his life first. And Striker gets dragged out in the front line. Your battering ram now broken in two. How about a bit of flank action? Takes them your own medicine.
As for the Dallas Fuel, on their defense, decided to play close up. When it got a little bit scary, they decided to back up and play around this first corner. The Shock up to everybody play close. We're going to try and burn as much time as possible. We've seen that in previous metas before. So they push up, they get on top of Big Earl. It'll just be Sparkle moving the payload right now.
Shock want to surge in here. To their relief, they can still control this high ground to a degree. The cart still just rounding that hairpin. Proper's looking for a target. No one there. Dallas really playing close together inside Big Earls, but they're getting cart progress. They're saying, no, you have to step down and contest this. We're not going to give you any freebies here. Look at this positioning. So cagey, so frustrating. Up we go.
The Shock are going to have to fight soon. Sound barrier may be available for that.
Great read on Proper though, Edison making sure he can get the drop on his opposite number. Doesn't connect the rail there, but the idea was good. Here's a Kitsune rush now. Edison trying to get to a safe spot. He's in a close little lane. Proper's going to have Scott to the high ground here. Sparkler's in his element right now. Sound barrier for both sides, so this will have to be waited out for a time. But Mikey's so low above the bubble and he's taken down. Can't get back to safety. It's not over yet, but Dallas Fuel have the numbers, and I love that peel. Midway through the fight, they turn around. They shut Proper down. They're starting to get a read on that.
Yeah, they're doing a much better job at punishing. Not letting Proper just go wherever he wants on the map. That is going to be point A taken above 4 minutes. They don't even need all. They don't need to get it all the way through checkpoint B. Just right about, past underneath that underpass there. That's it.
4 minutes and 5 seconds to do it. It is a whopping time bank, and that's going to make this even worse. Proper charging in, but he doesn't know what he's looking for. Dallas, vaporize. All of a sudden, they turn up on the wrong side of the map. And San Francisco are disoriented.
Edison and co will push up. Some ultimates to use here for the Shock. So much time available for the Dallas Fuel to make it happen. We said that on Kings Row, though, and the Shock were able to hold.
Look, though, Sparkle ushering the card forward.
Gently here as that is the pick.
That might be it! Mikey trying to go overhead here, but without proper. Where's the firepower going to be? Striker's got nowhere to go and make it too, Edison! Turning the lights out here on Route 66. Sparkle on Licata, we're going all the way!
The Fuel have come so close in the past, and they were not ready to go just yet, as we will go to a 7th game in this series.
Years and years in the Overwatch League have seen one team be dominant in our grand finals. That streak is broken. San Francisco and Dallas one more time will fight to the death in our tiebreaker map right after this. For the first time in Overwatch League history, our Grand Finals is going to one final map. Every good thing must come to an end, and that's what we're playing for today, ladies and gentlemen. The San Francisco Shock looking for their third championship with a revamped team, and Dallas finally getting to the ultimate stage in the Overwatch League after years of work for their first title.
The Dallas Fuel, so many veterans on this team. In that type of situation, you're looking across the stage, everybody's so cool and calm. On the Shock side, so many new players in the mix. You're just like, well, it's not your time just yet, maybe. It'll be the Shock's pick for our final map. It will go to push. The map pick will be Colosseo. So you only have New Queen Street or Colosseo to pick from. And what this tells me, and what we've seen a lot on this map, is really big stalemates at the beginning, right? Both teams letting the Sojourns pick at the start, trying to farm some damage. Shock for me is like, hey, Proper, bring us home. Get this pick at the start, get that bot moving. It is so difficult to make that comeback here.
Colosseo, this season, the Dallas Fuel are 7-4. San Francisco, 9-4. Both teams finding measures of success on this stage. But none of that matters now. None of the numbers, none of the stats. What matters is what these two teams have left to show, to leave it all out there here on the biggest stage in the Overwatch world.
You throw all those numbers out the window right now. And if you get one of these standoffs at the beginning, it is going to be tense. Nobody is going to want to give up that first kill.
No substitutions, no surprises there. Mikey is the guy that San Francisco believe can take them to a third championship. Here we go!
The gates open, it is the usual. It's Dallas gets there first. You're gonna see a lot of this type of posturing here, trying to find some damage down for these Sojourn players.
Fearless hoping there to drag one or two players out of formation there. The proper response in the prescribed manner. Slide away to safety. But there's some rail charge here he'd love to get some value out of. Dallas presenting him with some options. Proper now deciding to back away. Maybe gets a little bit too close there. Fearless not able to stick to kill both teams. So careful here.
Violet gets so low.
You're gonna be able to top him back up. Mikey though, getting pressured. Bubble now being broken here. The Fuel are in a power position. They're in a stronger spot. The Shock looking for Proper to swing and find that key kill. Bubble here, and there it is! The account is open at the Bank of San Francisco. Sparkle the first deposit. And now we're looking at a clean up here. No Reaper means no problem for Mikey as he surges ahead. Edison now removed. Dallas looking a little bit toothless here, but Fearless tries to stand tall. How much longer, you say?
The Reaper is one of the more high-value picks you can get at the start. So the bot went a little bit in favor of the Dallas Fuel there at the start. As you see the Shock, they push up. They're okay taking this mid-map fight because they have that ultimate advantage in terms of supports.
Gio not quite at that sound barrier yet. I like this from the Shock. It's go early, go fast. Fielder able to play from the side here. Proper passes him by because he only has eyes for Edison. That's a Sojourn down on the Dallas Fuel side of things now, and Mikey returns to finish the job. Sparkle forced to Wraith walk away. And this is a good start for San Francisco. Fielder has Suzu. Does he have Swift Step? No. Climbing the wall, he's able just to get away in time. But Dallas aren't advancing across the map.
No, it's a Shock will get a little bit. Oh, that's a huge kill. A headshot there on the Proper.
Fielder getting involved now. What a great time to do it. Sparkle going to try and compound the issue with the Death Blossom. He gets around the corner. And he gets his due.
That is the first big team wipe we've had here on Colosseo thus far. Dallas will now take the lead. Just look at how far up they push. They can't allow the Shock to just access this high ground for free. They need to make it difficult to do so.
A little bit scary for the Fuel to push into this part of the map. They'd love the Shock to bring the fight to them if at all possible. Edison thought he had something lined up there and he almost did. Striker taking a beating in that front line, forced to back up now with the Wraith Walk, and Edison again peeking these side angles, again taking Striker low. 650 here. Proper getting close. The Bloodthirst beginning to take over. Suzu used here and now, and there is the strike from the Fuel. Emerging from immortality. They take the Shock to task.
Yeah, they have the Kitsune rush there. And they don't want to push up there. They played it really well, the Dallas Fuel. They want to allow the Shock to come in. They don't want to push into that high ground that the Shock have on like a little bit of a defensive side here. They want to allow that fight to happen in that archway, win it now, push up.
Slow and steady play for Dallas here. Losing Chio there, less than ideal. They're not going to be able to get up the hill at this stage. Mikey wisely backing up there.
So they end up using the Kitsune rush there, do the Shock. They get that pick, and now they have to back up. You actually thought the sound barrier may have been in response, but they killed Chio, so that's pretty big.
Mikey just testing here. Wants the pressure Addison. Now Primal coming in, trying to juggle, but the sound barrier is going to be there in response. And in the meantime, Addison goes to work.
Violet had sound barrier.
Surgical extraction of your Lucio player. Tough to come back from that one. And the scalpel is still in this man's hands. There it is. Fielder cleans up Mikey. And Dallas are painting it blue.
So we will swing back the other direction with the bot. May get up to the point of pushing that barrier, getting close to that first checkpoint. But that pick from Edison is massive. He's going to use the overclock.
Sound barrier came just in time. Not for every member of the Shock, but for enough to allow them to hold steadfast for now.
Such a good trade for the Fuel, though.
Oh, and Striker falls into the crosshairs. And Edison ain't done. Violet won't be able to get away, and the Fuel are firing on all cylinders.
And to push up and use your overclock and be able to trade that for sound barrier, you're fine with that. Not only does that happen, you also get a kill onto Striker. Huge play from Edison thus far.
Getting the checkpoint here is so huge. It's over halfway through the round. The Shock still have a window here. Getting rid of Edison, a good start. Proper has a prime vantage here. But Sparkle goes for the Death Blossom. You can't be expecting that if you're the Shock and you've lost Violet. As a result, they run away from Striker, but Chio's not so lucky. Now Striker gets Fearless face to face. And his fears are realized.
And we swing back the other way. The Shock do not have the same luxury that Dallas Fuel had, where they didn't have to push into the high ground. Because you're behind, and because we're already halfway through this game, and because you can stall this out for so long in the middle, the Shock need to be that aggressive team here.
Trying to start up another fight, just as you mentioned. Finn again trying to find whatever he can. And here is the Kitsune Rush. Looks like Suzu deployed there, and that's going to be enough. Inoculates the Shock from any unexpected damage sources as Edison pops once more. Now Promise got him lined up.
He gets up here on this high ground, so aggressive. Has that overclock to use here. And maybe you see Mikey kind of posture around the corner, a Winston bubble for protection come in the way, but he's trying to keep this charge.
Trying to keep this position too.
A pick-off here may actually give them the checkpoint.
Fearless comes in over the top. There's a primal range available. Chio sends the beat in, but Edison doesn't have it. He's so low. Proper's going to be forced away. Fearless just in time to shove him out of the way as he was poised to strike.
Mikey gets Edison.
Eventually, Edison is run down, Matt. That sound barrier didn't reach him, and his life was cut short. Chio might be headed over the edge here. Looks like he's able to salvage the situation now. The Shock are getting close to that checkpoint. Sparkle surges forward now, but a sound barrier for San Francisco is going to have to give him pause for thought. Backing up, even with Kitsune Rush in play, Dallas are a little cagey. A lot of damage on Mikey. Can they patch that up in time? It looks like it.
They get Edison back, and they use everything here, the Dallas Fuel. They need to hold.
That should be enough. How about 3?
And if you're Dallas, you don't. So you would love some more progress on this barrier, right? But it's not 100% necessary. They can push this bot up, they can then back up, and they can play middle map if they want to.
Being able to play from the bridge at least.
You see where they back up to, right? They back up to that choke point. They don't want to push through that high ground.
Probably wouldn't have been ready for that there. Edison picks him up, it could be all over, but Sparkle might have them. By the chins here. 1 minute and 47 seconds left in the round. No checkpoint yet for San Francisco. And Dallas are surging ahead once more. It's time to dig deep.
You're going to get that bot around the corner. Primal Rage, both support ults probably available here for the Dallas Fuel.
90-second warning. Edison trying to keep himself. Oh, there it is! Striker tries to drop down on the flank, but Edison got to it first.
Kitsune Rush, and they just back out. Look, they've gotten a lot of progress here, 90 meters. They don't have to fight that there.
Here's a rush from the Fuel now, and this one has the bite to match the bark. Sparkle out of the window there, looking for Proper, who has to back away. Is this it? Is this all the Shock have?
Under a minute to go. The barrier making its way towards the end of the map.
Edison could seal the deal here. How do you come back from this? There goes Proper! Edison! Trying to bring it home, but Striker's found two. A chance here for the Shock. They've got a sound barrier. Striker for 4. Violet steals the ace. But the Shock are back on the road. 23 seconds.
We have seen crazy stuff on this map. You think back to earlier in the season, Pelican on the Houston Outlaws. They've come up with some huge plays. As we jump back in the game, 10 seconds left. We're going to jump into OT.
Dallas want to start this fight up. Shock fans, do you believe in magic? Because you're going to need it right now. Primal for Fearless, he's not back, but he's still hunting. Able to get away from Proper. He's a little bit low. We're in overtime now, and Dallas opt to regroup, albeit for just a moment.
Violet's got beat. Has to get value out of this. You cannot die in this situation if you're Violet.
50 meters is a long way for San Francisco. Mikey goes in and then straight back out. Doesn't find what he was looking for. Fearless in the front line overtime. It's the sound barrier coming out for San Francisco. They get it on 5 players and Field is going to struggle there. Proper's found him. There's an opening here. There's a chance. But Sparkle shuts Finn down. San Francisco in a 4 versus 3. But Edison from the top rope hits him with the RKO. Striker wants to try and chase him down. Gets his revenge and Chia in trouble here. Violet's able to find the kill. And the Shock aren't done.
You're going to have a 6 spawn advantage here for the Dallas Fuel, though.
Only 2 players here for San Francisco. It's not much to work with here. How do they touch the cart? The bubble's going to be there. Violet's going to be forced away. He's in grave danger. Grave danger indeed. The touch is there from Striker. He has a death blossom, but there's no chance. The Dallas Fuel take their place amongst the stars. To burn brighter than them all. Rising to become your 2022 Overwatch League champions!
This team has worked so hard, and this organization has worked so hard to get to this moment. And have it happen in the fashion it did. Proper was coming on big time in that series. Edison steps up here in our final map. And Sparkle always so consistent for this team.
5 years of Dallas Fuel, and now the first championship.
You see everybody running out of the back here for the Fuel. As this has been a grind for this team, this group of players, it has not been easy. And and they go up against the toughest of the toughest, right? The Shock, two-time champion already, and they get it done.
You understand why the emotions are running high. Dallas Fuel tried everything. The way they started with the Overwatch League, hopes were so high, they fell short of their goal in that Season 1 and struggled to find their footing until they realized they had the opportunity to bring these Element Mystic players under their banner and groom them for kingship.
You worked so hard all season, so many regular season games, tournaments, for this moment. That with how good they've been all year, the #1 overall seed, to now win here, it's like, well, we're just gonna have to reset and go again. And not today.
Now we're down. So much of Dallas' success came with Hanbin at the helm. We saw bits of Fearless here and there this season, but we didn't expect them to have to rely on this guy from the Shanghai Dragons in one of the toughest positions any player could be in, unable to find a win with that team. Now he's able to take the stage as a victor, as a champion, and you can see how much it means to him.
You can just see the relief on their players' faces. There's so much pressure in one of the most popular organizations. For the players as well. You know, Sparkle is such a long-time kind of legend in Overwatch to be able to get this championship.
Coach Rush, so stoic normally, so serious, so stern, overflowing with emotion, sitting in the background. You can see him there on the right. Again, a stern taskmaster to be sure for this team. The Dallas Fuel have done it. What an incredible moment. Let's continue to savor it now as we head down to the stage with Golden Boy and the victors.
Ladies and gentlemen. All right, ladies and gentlemen, your 2022 Overwatch League Grand Champions, the Dallas Fuel! And to officially award them the trophy, we have Sean Miller here, the head of the Overwatch League. Sean?
Thanks, Golden Boy. Dallas Fuel, thank you, fans. Look at what we've done. We've broken records, we've come together. I'm not going to delay. Your first global champions of Overwatch 2, the Dallas Fuel. Let's give it up!
Unbelievable moments here, but first player I want to get to, if I can find him through the rummage, is Sparkle. Danny, help me. There's Sparkle. All right.
스파클 선수, 앞으로 나와주세요. 앞으로 나와주세요.
Sparkle.
Yes.
How does it feel? Congratulations.
Thank you! 축하드립니다. 소감 한 말씀 부탁드릴게요. Thank you for treating us, Dallas Pure Pass! We got it! Grand Final Champion!
Say no more. Say no more.
Say no more.
Let's find the coach, Coach Rush.
러쉬 감독님, 앞으로 나와주세요.
Coach Rush, here you are, my friend. What makes this Dallas Fuel team so special and why they won this championship?
자, 일단 오늘 우승 축하드리면서 달라스의 특별한 점, 오늘 우승을 어떻게 하셨던 것 같으신가요?
말이 지금 너무 안 나와요. 지금 너무 기뻐서 저희는 다 서로 다 의지를 열심히 했고 다 누구든 이길 수 있다는 그런 마인드로 되게 열심히 해서 지금 좋은 결과를 얻게 된 것 같아서 너무 기쁩니다. 네.
I am just so happy. It's so hard for me to talk right now because I am so happy. But I think we really, as a team, relied on each other. We depended on each other, and we worked towards a goal, same goal, just by thinking that we could defeat any opponent that we faced. So it just feels really good to get this win right now.
Congratulations, Coach Rush.
Thank you. Thank you.
And where's Fearless? Fearless, come over here, Fearless. Because I want to tell you that you are the Grand Finals MVP! Congratulations, you played unbelievably. How does this moment feel?
우승 너무 축하드리고 오늘 너무나도 잘하셨어요. 지금 소감 한 말씀 부탁드릴게요.
진짜 너무 긴장해가지고 지금 사실 손이 떨리는데 사실 제가 아니라 이 MVP 받은 사람 다 이제 뭐라 했는지 모르겠는데 일단 여기 와주신 팬분들 정말 너무너무 감사합니다. 그리고 한국에서 시청해주신 여러분들 진짜 너무너무 감사합니다. 여러분 덕분에 저희가 이겼습니다. 감사합니다.
I'm just so shook that it's really hard for me to talk, but this MVP award, I got it through all of the fans. For all the fans that were cheering on to Dallas Fuel, thank you guys so much. And for those of you fans in Korea that were cheering on the Dallas Fuel, thank you guys so much. Again, we got this win because of all of you guys. Thank you guys so much.
Once again, Fearless and folks in Anaheim, if we could do it one more time for your world champions, the Dallas Fuel! Let's send it back to the casters.
What a way to make history here in the Overwatch League, Matt. We've had the pleasure of presiding over each grand final in the league so far, and nothing quite comes close to what we have seen today. The game unbelievably competitive. There were fears we thought Dallas might just sweep this one away.
Yeah.
San Francisco went to new level after new level in their pursuit of glory, and they came so close.
And every member of the Dallas Fuel was so important throughout the year, right? We've seen Doha at times, we've seen Rio. The one, we saw him a little bit was like Fearless, right? Like Hanbin was so good, MVP candidate. We kind of forgot how good Fearless is on the Winston. And what happens? The playoff meta allows Fearless to come back in the mix, and he shows why he is one of, if not the best Winstons in the world.
Tasmo there on your screen, who's been with the team ever since the beginning as their manager through all the ups and downs that this Dallas Fuel team has faced. Incredible to see them now having a chance to celebrate. I have to say, I've really enjoyed watching. Edison owned his style, right? He's less aggressive than Proper. He didn't want to charge forward all the time. He knew what his job was staying alive, especially into the mid-late fight, and then find these connections. I have a lot of respect for someone who, resists the urge to try and charge headlong into the fray like his opposite number was. He's not about the glory, not about the flashiness, but he's still able to produce those moments for us here today.
Also a player who believes that if the nerves don't get to him and the spotlight doesn't get too big, he can be the best player in the world. And in the biggest moment, in a Game 7, he showed up big time. I mean, that is, you take that confidence and, sky's the limit for a player like Edison now.
Such an incredible moment, like we talked about the tank rotation here for Dallas, the fact that they're able to find equally precipitous results with both these squads. Rascal, of course, here on the coaching staff, who's really taken to that role by all accounts, stepped into it and stepped up in a big way in a leadership position. The Dallas Fuel, there have been multiple years where we thought it might have been their year, always faltering, always, gelling with the meta was an issue, but we heard the whispers as soon as we started here on this current patch. At Dallas Fuel was still the team to beat, and everybody was following suit.
But they'd been the team to beat before, but they just were not able to get it done. And with how close they were, they did not want to let that opportunity slip away. And you can see how much it means to the players on the stage.
It's been a couple of years, ladies and gentlemen, of playoffs where we've tried to share our love for the game remotely, rather isolated from one another on the internet, trying to generate that hype at 4 a.m. in the morning in a garage or at your PC. But having us all here today, this atmosphere and this love for the game should tell everybody that this game, this community lives, it breathes, and we're not going anywhere. Thanks for being with me and Matt so far. We're gonna head over to the desk.
얘네 공 뭐 있어?
얘네 저기 사는 거 리포공 고쳐. 리포공 빨라. 리포공 하나. 리포 하나. 가면.
얘네 몇 명 없어?
리포 드짐.
나이스!
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Butterfinger. Crispity, crunchity, peanut buttery. No one lays a finger on your Butterfinger.